If you know me, you know I like things that roll. And if you like things that roll too, well, you're in good luck right now, because there's something rolling to the pad for launch as of now, tomorrow. But will it stay tomorrow? We'll talk about it on this countdown to launch.
And here we go.
This is the final go, no-go poll for today's operations.
Full reusability of an engine like this is really something that people haven't done before.
We didn't know what we were doing because it was impossible to know what you were doing. We were the only ones that ever done something like this before.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
Back skew.
Separation.
One Raptor vacuum is off.
We lost a Raptor vacuum.
Ship FTS is safe.
Starship is turning for final approach to landing site.
Welcome everybody to Countdown to Launch. This is our show that we do as things get closer and closer to lifting off in Starbase, in this case, Starship Flight 13. Now, you may remember that we were in this exact spot last week of, hey, this is the hopefully final countdown to launch before launch. And yeah, here we are again. But as you can see up in the corner of the screen there, look at that, about 25 hours and 40 minutes to go until the opening of tomorrow's launch window for Flight 13. I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. I will be your host for this countdown to launch. And as is always the case, though, I am not alone. Joining me are two people you may recognize from such exciting streams as Booster 20 testing earlier today, including, let's see who comes up first. I think it's going to be Alex first. How's it going,
Okay,
Alex?
me first then. Yeah, hello, Sawyer, and hello, everybody. We just came off of that Booster 20, Spin Prime or whatever it was. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, and now the ship is out there. It's almost at the pad, I think. And we're going to get, of course, hopefully a stacking in a few hours, maybe. We'll see what happens. But yeah, little over 25 and a half hours to go. But yeah, there's a ship. Hopefully in a little while we're going to see it do this from the other flight that we saw. Hopefully without the RVAC out.
Yeah, hopefully we see it actually do the thing tomorrow, if all goes well. Also joining me today is Ryan Weber. Ryan, how are you doing?
It's been a long day, I'll just say, but doing good. Yeah, it was kind of an odd test that SpaceX did, at least one that we haven't seen them do before. But either way, we'll go ahead and talk about that here shortly. But yeah, Ship 40 is rolling down Highway 4. It's almost at the launch site and should be stacked here in a couple hours.
Hopefully. And Jay Keegan is the one pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, producing today's countdown to launch. As is always the case, we like to answer your questions during these shows. So if you have questions, you can tag us at NASASpaceflight or at NSF. And we will do our best to answer as many of them as we can over the course of the stream. And I know one of the questions is going to be weather. We will absolutely talk about that. We have Adam Schuker that will be joining us a little bit later for that as well. So Alex, as we approach 24 hours to go-ish before launch, where are we at in terms of vehicles, testing, what still needs to be done, etc.?
Yeah, so SpaceX posted on X very recently about that milestone test that we saw earlier today with Booster 20 on the pad. It got rolled out yesterday and then installed on the mount as well very quickly after that. And we got a test this morning or slash afternoon, I guess. And it seemed to be just letting the valves open between the tank and the engines. That's basically what it seemed like. It didn't even seem like it was a spin prime or anything like that. It was like weaker than a spin prime. But yeah, so with the booster all ready to go for flight, then they rolled out the ship. It's currently there arriving to the pad. This is like just a few meters, well, some few meters away from the launch site entrance. And so there we go. I'm not hearing if we're playing any SPMT sounds. So if we are, please tell me, because those are cool. Okay, no audio. Sure. Then I'll keep talking about this. So you can see there, ship 40. It went back to the Mega Bay. I know a few people might be wondering why. It's just basically probably for more checkouts. It never hurts, especially after a launch abort, a T0. When we had that last Thursday, for example, then you can think of things like checking on the satellites, checking on the ship itself, checking on the ship's engines, maybe, to check that whatever aborted the engines at ignition on the booster doesn't happen on the ship. Many things that you can think about that might, just for precaution is probably a good argument, but there are all the few things that you can think about to just also roll back the ship, even though the booster was the one at fault for that aboard at T0 last week. But yeah, so far so good. Heat shield looking great there, as we can see. And hopefully we get a launch in 25 hours and 35 minutes from now.
That is indeed the hope, if all goes according to plan. Now, as we see Ship 40 rolling on its way back out on those SPMTs, I do want to delve a little bit more into that test today, Ryan, because we had a booster fart is even a bad way to describe that. It was even wimpier seeming than that. I know we were like, it's going to be igniter, it's going to be a spin prime. What exactly was that, and what purpose does that serve, given the engine not igniting that we saw?
So basically, when SpaceX goes to test engines, there's a couple of ways they can do it. So first, you can do a spin prime, which is basically they spin up both pumps. All they do is spin them up. They allow the propellant to flow through. They don't ignite it. They don't do anything. It just flows the propellant through the pumps, which tests the pumps. It
Can I
tests the
acknowledge
valves.
one thing? I think there's a person there with one of our merch. Just say, I just saw that.
Was that a Flight 5 shirt?
I think so. I don't know who they are, but good for you.
Huh. That's fun.
Yeah, that is fun, and you can get yours at shop.nasasspaceflight. Anyway, continue.
the early plug. So basically, as I was saying, a spin prime, or sometimes we abbreviate called SP because it's just we abbreviate things a lot, but it's called a spin prime. You basically spin up both pumps and you flow liquid oxygen and liquid methane through the engine without setting off the igniters. So you don't set off the pre-burners and it doesn't set off the MCC. So all you do is flow liquid propellant through, and that's it. That's where you see the big jet that comes out the bottom of the booster or ship, in either case, and that's that. It tests basically it tests the pumps, it tests the valves, it tests the pressure going through to spin it up. So that's that. An igniter test, basically what they do is they'll chill down the engine like they do with a spin prime, but all they do is they flow enough prop into it just to fire off the igniters. They don't spin up the pumps, because if they went to spin up the pumps after they did the igniters, they would then really light off the engine, basically is what they would do. So they just go ahead and just do an igniter test on that front. Then there's a static fire, which tests every aspect of the engine, as well as it tests like the autonomous pressurization system for the booster or the ship itself. Now, for what SpaceX did today, all they did was force open the LOX and CH4 valves on the engines, and it looks like it was just the 6 that got removed, because it looks like 5 got swapped out, and then 1 got removed but reinstalled. Now, I think that was engine 16, because I think we saw it go to McGregor and then come back from the looks of things. So all they did was force open the valves, let the liquid propellant go through, and basically what they did to do that is the hard connection points, where the LOX turbopump inlet and the methane turbopump inlet attached to the booster, they basically can make sure that those don't leak. That's basically it. And same thing with the high pressure side. They can just, pressurize that as well. They don't have to spin the pumps, or open the valves to spin the pumps. They can just make sure there's no leaks on the high pressure side and there's no leaks on the liquid side, and that's it. Basically, what it's doing is saying, did we install that engine correctly? Like, is it going to leak during flight? Did we install it a little bit off or anything? Is it centered? Is it good to go? That's basically all they did. It's the equivalent of when you go change the oil on your car and you're leak checking your drain plug in your oil filter. You're changing the oil or fuel filter on a turbine engine for an aircraft. Or anything like that. You're just leak checking the surface and the fitting to make sure it's not leaking. And that's basically what they did. That's it. It's kind of anticlimactic, but one thing it does do is it certifies the interfaces, and also what it doesn't do is it doesn't use water from the DSS, so they don't have to refill that. It doesn't use the deluge, so they don't have to refill that, which helps. So that's less trucks they have to bring in. And it puts barely any stress on the booster at all, so they can just roll the ship out like they did, which is turning it into the launch site right now, stack it, and go. That's basically what they did today.
If they wanted to do a real leak check, they just could have had Chris Bergen go out there and start talking, because he tends to leak things accidentally. Well, it was nice knowing you, folks. I probably won't have a job in a couple minutes after that comment. Anyway, let's get to some questions that were tagged here in chat and start answering some of those. Make It Rocket was wondering, with all of this testing and everything they checked, how likely is it that at least another engine is out on ignition tomorrow? I mean, I guess technically it's always 1 in 33 for the core stage, but I mean, do you think they have a lot more confidence now, having taken some of those engines out to McGregor, replacing some, bringing the one back? What do you think, Alex?
Well, definitely it's given them enough data probably to take another look at the booster. They've basically been out there in the Mega Bay for about 5 days, a little bit under 5 days, checking on those engines, and they have the data from the actual engine abort on launch day, right? So they have all of that to be able to go through and make sure that everything is fully correctly, and then there's not going to be any sort of repeated situation like we saw last week. But we'll see. I mean, the proof of fire will be tomorrow when they go and light those engines again, hopefully tomorrow. We'll talk about the weather, of course, because they also mentioned that is also another significant watch item for tomorrow. But if they go for a launch and they go all the way to engine ignition, then that'll be the point where we'll figure out whether the work that they did worked or if they need more work on the booster. No pun intended.
Yeah. Please, always pun intended with me around.
Sure.
Oh, boy. George Cartledge is wondering, given the current oh, sorry, I was going to do Jeff C's first. George, we'll get to yours. Jeff C was asking, Ryan, do you think that the booster test today gives any indication of what the abort cause was? Maybe there were leaks above the threshold?
The test today only tells me that I think it tells me that the abort was software. I know they swapped out engines. I think part of that was due to the quick abort is why they were swapped out. But I think the fact that they didn't actually do like a test to confirm a fix tells me that it was mostly software related and that all they needed to do was make sure that the new engines they installed weren't going to leak. That's what today tells me. And that's basically that. And they're confident that it's not going to happen again, whatever happened. Hopefully in like 25 hours, we will learn what happened, because at that point, it's light right after the SpaceX stream starts. So hopefully they tell us what happened, why the T0 aborted. Maybe they don't go into really big detail, but they kind of maybe give a brief explanation, and then they'll go into more detail when we get the next episode of the docu-series out for the Starship documentary. But I'm hoping, if they go tomorrow, of course we'll talk about as Alex said, we'll talk about the weather. in the next 25 hours that we'll get an explanation as to, or at least a relative explanation of what happened. Because I honestly don't know what happened, but today tells me I think it was mostly software rather than hardware.
Yeah, hopefully we get that update. Now, you did mention the weather. SpaceX, in their update on X, did mention weather as a serious watch item. Alex, I know we're going to go into more detail with Adam Sugar in just a little bit, but to kind of give an idea of what's going on, of course, there's Bertha coming through. That is the name of the depression/tropical storm that's been making its way across the Gulf towards Texas. But even if it does come through, there's going to be some viewing concerns and other wind concerns, right?
Yeah, so I actually have a little bit here from Ryan, which he made this. Let me see if I can play that. See, there we go. So you can see here the dew point and the air temperature when these two lines touch. That is when you've got a lot of cloud cover. There is a lot there that you can basically see over here. This is 15 kilometers. This is the ground, so you can basically cut in half, and so about 7.5 kilometers all the way up. There's a good chance of cloud cover. On the official National Weather Service, I think they call up to more than 60% cloud cover around the area of around Brownsville and South Padre Island. So there's a good chance that around the time, this is like 75 minutes into the window, by the way. Some of the other data as well is like before this, and it still shows considerable amounts of cloud cover. So there's a non-zero chance that this thing just gets lost in the clouds, even if we were to be able to launch. Now, there's another concern as well, and now this is going to take me a while. I'm not as fancy as Ryan with this sort of thing, but there's also the wind. And so the thing that you got to look at is the speed here. It's not a lot, so that it scrubs, but it's also the shear. Let me play it again for you, because this is the thing as well. I actually have to slow down this probably. The thing that you look for is that speed, the number, but also the direction. Look at how it changes, and we're only 2 kilometers up. It changes quite drastically, and this still like in the 20s, 10s. So this is quite a big change in the direction of the wind. It changes again now, but we are into thinner air and down to basically like, this is like not even a breeze. An ant can probably do this, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we're getting into thinner and thinner air, and so the wind direction is less important when it comes to low speeds, because this is low. For 10 kilometers in altitude, this is low speeds. Even this is gonna get, I think, into the 30s when you get into 15 kilometers. But the problem might come with the wind shear and things like that right down at the bottom when we saw that big change in the wind direction at the 2 kilometer altitude range. That could be a concern. Yeah, see, it goes to 42, of course, 42 knots in speed at 15 kilometers in altitude. So that is basically in terms of the cloud cover and the wind speed and things like that. Of course, we're going to talk with Adam in a few minutes here to talk about things like rain chances and all of the other more notoriously important parts, which are about, you know, things like lightning and stuff like that, which can also scrub a launch. But definitely my main concern as a person that likes to see launches is that cloud cover. And of course, that little bit of wind shear at 2 kilometers in altitude, which is probably not super great. But that's basically what we've got. As I said, Adam Zucker will be later doing a little bit more detail, especially on the rain side of things, because that could be a concern as well with Bertha. It's still going to be a bit far out, but it may bring a few showers and thunderstorms close to Starbase. So that will be also another thing to look out for.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that you're not in space right next to the booster
I am
after
not.
Separation?
Well,
Oh,
you
no.
see,
The immersion. My immersion is broken.
you see, Spain has 2 stars now, but these are not the 2 stars that we have.
Oh, football reference acknowledged. Oh boy. Anyway, let me take a moment to thank some people, and then we'll get back to more of your questions, which you can tag us at NASASpaceflight or at NSF. John B. Adams, thank you for becoming a Padrot member. And then Martsta7957 saying, just sat down with a non-microwaved tea, especially for this stream. I will have you all know, I am team electric kettle. Okay? There we go. Don't come at me. I don't microwave it like certain people in the box below me.
I don't do tea, so sorry.
I mean, I just
Sue
don't
me.
microwave my water. I just don't do that. You know, it's just wrong. So many levels. I just don't. Yeah.
I think Sawyer is saying what he's saying just because Jay is operating the stream, and so of course.
It's true. I have my electric kettle, but yeah, and apparently now there's a blame command. Something went wrong, so that's basically because Jerry proclaimed he makes tea with microwaved water, which is itself wrong.
Well,
When did that get happen?
to say this, the booster test was successful. We had thought it might have been an abort, but it was successful because now we understand what they did. But still, it's always Jerry's fault.
I mean, he's had the drone up when some of the biggest explosions have happened, so yeah. Anyway, let's get back to more of those questions. The one I mentioned earlier, George Cartledge was wondering, given the current condition of the chopsticks evolution, how long do the team think it will take for the technology to mature to fulfill the speedy cadence they want, as we see the ship getting ready to line up into its position with the chopsticks there over at Pad 2? Ryan, what do you think?
Well, they're still getting used to the electric actuators. Those are still relatively new. A lot of the systems on there are relatively mature at this point. The landing rail systems, the bumpers, they've used those 3 times now for catching. It'll give them more time as they start catching more and more. Hopefully, when they start catching again next flight, they'll start learning more and more about them, and especially using the electric actuators to actually catch rather than just lift. They'll get faster on lifting. They'll get better at catching. They'll mature more as they go on. You have to remember it's SpaceX. They love to make modifications a lot of times. And I mean, what was it? In between flights 12 and 13 here, they removed the landing rails and put in lighter ones, which had some more material cut out of them. So they're always making changes to these things to make them lighter, to make them more efficient, to make them better. It'll take a while before it's a truly mature design, because I don't think anyone ever really thought when we go way back when. I remember when those things were first getting built and we started to figure out exactly what they were building. We're like, oh, they're going to attach this carriage to the side of the tower, and then these 2 arms are going to go on, and that's how they're lifting and vehicles. And oh yeah, by the way, this is also how they're catching them eventually. I still remember when we were piecing that all together, and it was kind of nuts. And I think, what was it? I can't remember who said it. It might have been Elon himself. They said, oh, they gave this to like some young engineers, and in like 9 months they designed the basic system of the chopsticks originally, or something like that. Either way, it'll take a bit to mature the whole design as they move forward, but they'll get there, and they'll get a higher and higher cadence out of them.
I mean, from the original Mechazilla, things have drastically changed. And even out at the Cape, where they had the long chopstick arms and everything, and now the plan with Pad 2 and all the newer pads going to those shorter, stubbier chopsticks, I think once they get that down, it's going to be a much quicker thing. But even so, the pace at which it takes them to actually do the lift portion is surprisingly quick. I mean, we're talking, 30 to 40 minutes. The part that takes the longest is once it gets on there, especially the ship, is then lining it up with all the attachment points on the booster, and that they're finagling left and right super tiny. So as long as the lift can sometimes feel, at this point now, that becomes more the issue of aligning the vehicles than the actual lift portion itself, at least in my opinion. I don't know, Alex, if you agree with me on that or not.
I mean, it's one of those things that we'll see. But
it's a work in progress.
Yeah. It's a work in progress.
That's a good way to put
it. Work continues on the OLM chopsticks.
Yeah, sure.
That'll be the new work continues on the OLM. Oh boy. Steelers fan 25-0 is asking, are they able to attempt Friday if they can't go tomorrow, Alex? I thought they used up all their weekend closures for this year, and I think Friday counts as a weekend from Memorial Day to Labor Day. I don't know if that's in the cards or in the paperwork.
They pretty much already used them. I think maybe Ryan can better tell you exactly how many of them they've used, but I think they've already used them anyways for testing previously. So they've pretty much run out of those.
Technically speaking, they have used all their weekend closures. So if they use another one, they get fined. As far as I understand, I think that's as far as it goes. Or maybe they ask for an exception. I don't know if they can get an exception from the FAA and from the county on it to use a weekend closure, because it would be the FAA plus the county to say, yeah, it's fine. Which, let's be honest, I don't think there will be that much of an issue. I know that's what the PEA says, but since when have they followed the PEA?
I mean, they're supposed to give 48 hours notice for when closing the beach for test or launches, and 24 hours for rollouts. So they don't do that. I mean, they don't. Today they released it's probably the backup closure, the backup beach closure for launch on Friday, and I think it was like right at 48 hours. So if they had only done it like an hour earlier, it probably had counted, but I think it did not. It's a weird thing. Like, it's supposed to be 48 hours when they close the beach, which is basically every single time they test or launch out of the pan, and it's 24 hours for rollout closures, basically. So be it as you want, whatever you want to call it, but it's definitely not following the rules. So at least the ones that are in paper, if they have changed, they're not nowhere that we can really see. Like, there's nowhere where they have posted, hey, we changed the rules. So
yeah, that would have to be an amendment to the PEA. Like, I think that'd have to be another tiered environmental or an amendment to it, and that is usually public. So if they have made it, well, I should say this: they haven't made one because we would have seen the paperwork for it. So
yeah.
Who pays the fine, though? Is that a FAA fine? Is that a county fine? Is it both?
I'd have to look again. Because technically speaking, if they break that PEA, the FAA, I think, can take their launch license for that if they wanted to. I'd have to look through that PEA again. It might be a fine, or it might be something else, or they just ignore it. There's always
It's
that
just another
thing.
SN8.
Well, yeah. I have to go back and look because I know the SN8 thing, and then they required an FAA person to be on site. I think it was, or something along those lines. I'd have to go back and read the PEA again. It's been a minute since I've read it, just to confirm what I'm saying here.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, currently on the City of Starbase website, for beach closures, there is a primary closure tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time, and there is another primary listed for July 24th from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. That seems a bit interesting. I know you guys were talking about this during the testing stream, but isn't that more like booster testing hours for the 23rd and launch hours for the 24th?
It seems very
weird to me,
early
Ryan.
in the day for the one tomorrow.
It's odd.
I'm trying to get to it.
I think if they were going to use tomorrow for launch, and if they actually go for it, I wouldn't be surprised if they amended the closure. Or the funny thing is they don't technically have to amend it. They just can choose to not close the road at 7 a.m. and just close it at 12, but leave the closure up the way it is. They can always do that. I mean, heck, look, today the closure was at 9 a.m. and they didn't close till 9:30, something like that. They did close later. They can always just choose to close later into the window. So it's not like they have to change it or anything along those lines. They just will choose to close it. So.
Yeah, but that was only a half hour versus, what is that, 5 hours after the potential beach closure?
There have been times where they've wanted to do booster testing. The closure started at 10 a.m. and they didn't close the beach till 4. They've done that before. It wouldn't be the first time that they didn't close for several hours. That's definitely not a new thing. So
Yeah. I mean, my thought is maybe they have that in there because of something with the weather forecast, given how iffy that seems at the moment. So, speaking of that, I mentioned that we would have Adam Sugar on a little bit later, and I believe we have Adam with us now to go super in depth into everything going on with the weather and what's happening with Bertha and how that might affect tomorrow's potential launch attempt. Adam, do we have you?
You have me, and that's exactly why I came on board to talk about the weather. Bertha's the big reason why I'm here talking. As you can see, that satellite image there. If you look right there around the southeast part of Louisiana, you can see that spin. It's pretty easy to find it. It's a tropical storm. It's moving its way across Louisiana, but it's moving westbound, so it's headed for pretty much the Texas coast, but more on the closer to the greater Houston metro region area, that part of the coastline. But as you can see with the satellite image, this is one thing I want to point out. That's why I had Jay pull up the satellite here for us. Is see all the clouds just to the south of that. So even though the spin where the actual circulation of this storm is, a lot of the clouds are actually situated more into the Gulf, and that's because some of the wind shear is allowing it to get kind of ripped apart from the tropical part of it. But the cloud extent still has a lot of rain and thunderstorms that's developed along the coast, allowing for all that excessive cloud cover. Well, just imagine you take that same storm, push it left all the way to almost the Texas coast. Well, those clouds then mean they're going to be all across South Texas, including the upper whole Texas coastline. So, as y'all were showing that graphic earlier with the red and green barbs together, that's temperature dew point. Anytime they come together, it's 100% relative humidity. So that's what we're expecting. Very saturated, we call it saturated profile. I mean, a lot of moisture aloft, and that allows for clouds. That allows for some pop-up showers or even a big shower band to come in. So that's right there. What you can see there is the red and green coming together, and that's a very saturated profile, and that will cause clouds like we can see and everything else. And that's why if you're going there to view, that can be a concern. But then we're going to talk about a couple other things that not just a viewing concern, that could be a watch concern. And that's why SpaceX said weather's a concern for the day. Another thing we have is y'all were talking about earlier is the directional wind shear. So yes, we do have directional wind shear. We have winds at the lower levels that are basically just like the graphic here showing that they come in at the southeast and then they kind of turn back around, and that's called directional wind shear. And especially at the lower levels, that's something that they do typically watch for flights, because you got air pushing on a vehicle one way, pushing on the vehicle the other way, and that causes a little bit of disruptance there of nice clean launch. I looked back at other soundings, and a sounding means a weather balloon that went up and gave us official data. There was, from my forecast data that I looked at and current data, Flight 8 actually had stronger directional wind shear than what the current forecast model is showing. So there's a chance, and I want to tell you why there's a chance we could still be within limits of that directional wind shear. And the track of this tropical storm is going to mean a lot. We still have a little bit too much time that it can deviate further south, or it could even be better and deviate further north. But if it starts deviating a little bit further south and takes more of a south track than its current trajectory, that can mean we could increase some wind shear down along South Texas. Then that means that directional wind shear could increase more, and then we have to start worrying about wind. Another thing we got to worry about, okay, so the extensive cloud cover that could come along with this, mid, upper level clouds. Well, just like you see now along the Texas Gulf Coast, those storms that are developing that has lightning charge to them. So then when you have extensive cloud cover, you have to worry about lightning charged clouds, like the anvil rule, basically. It's very similar. Well, we could also have some thunderstorms develop inland on the Texas coast, like actually, just to the north of South Padre and Brownsville and the whole Starbase region. We could actually see some thunderstorms develop to the north that could also be enough for lightning to also be too charged up in the clouds. Another thing we got to watch for. So the problem with all this is forecast models are only so well. The track of this can change a lot. No matter what, there's probably a very good high likelihood of clouds, upper level clouds especially. But all those conditions are going to have to be more looked at as we go into the day tomorrow to know exactly where do we kind of more feel that track of that storm is going. And also to see, I mean, there could be a chance thunderstorms are much further away and then the lightning rule doesn't apply, but that they could be closer and then the lightning rule applies and then we can't launch because of the conditions. So we have a lot of watch items for the weather. Doesn't mean it's a complete scrub just yet. Don't worry about that. A lot of times they'll wait until the last minute because we know as meteorologists, like the weather data, we want closer to realistic weather conditions and not just the computer forecast models because a lot of things can change and give you a window. Because I did see that there could be some showers that come in the morning, but it shows them kind of decreasing through the afternoon around that area. So there could be a little window that opens up for launch, but if we have thunderstorms nearby, that could change that whole perspective. And I already know you're going to ask me the next question. Well, what about if we go into the next following day? And I want to say sorry already. I got a helicopter flying on my head. I'm outside. But for tomorrow, actually going into Friday, sorry, tomorrow's launch day. Friday, so say they screw up, Thursday due to weather. Friday, actually, especially if you're going there to view this thing, Friday's a much better day. Friday, the tropical storm finally gets far enough inland in Texas that it's going to be very weak by then. We're not expecting a whole lot with it. The cloud cover will be a lot more limited, so it should be a lot more sunny conditions come Friday, and the winds will also weaken tremendously. And so from Friday forward, I think the weather conditions are much better. But I think they'll still try to squeeze this in because you never know. Sometimes you can get conditions just right and it could be within limits, but there's a lot of watch items for the weather for tomorrow for sure. So, but as a viewer, you'd probably rather want to wait until Friday. That way you get rid of a lot of the clouds and you can watch the whole separation and all that. It's a little bit hard to see when you got those mid and upper level clouds to see any kind of separation because those will be in your way.
And
hopefully
given
that
that
summarizes it.
given that they do have a window, though, is there any change as it goes on, or is it all just pending whatever Bertha does?
A 90-minute window, the only thing that could actually say it was a lightning rule delay, that could help. I could try to push it towards the end of the window, hoping maybe thunderstorms across the inland parts of Texas, because the stuff along the Gulf should actually start decreasing, but then there could be inland thunderstorms in the afternoon, and depending on how far those are away, they could be like, hey, let's try to stretch this window out and see if maybe the thunderstorms kind of relax a little bit. Maybe the lightning starts kind of fading off where they could try to push in there. But yeah, it's a lot of question marks with the weather tomorrow. And it's one of those typical situations. It's so dynamic that really until you get into tomorrow and actually see what's really going on, how close are those thunderstorms, how thick is that cloud layer above them, is it connected to the thunderstorms, all those question marks. And the track of that storm system could also increase or decrease the wind shear that we have. This is not a big tropical storm. It's actually going to as it moves into Texas, it's actually going to start weakening. So we're not expecting this to come like this big, massive hurricane, but it's just close enough. I mean, I'm telling you, when I saw the launch day come out and it said Thursday, I slapped my head immediately going, that is about the same perfect time that this tropical system will be very close to Texas. And that might be a watch item. And here we go. Like, man.
Of course. Oh, man. Well, I think that's what we have for now. Of course, hopefully we'll get better updates on weather either later tonight or earlier tomorrow. But Adam, thank you so much for coming on to talk about that.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Adam Shuker, everybody. Always a pleasure to have him on. Well, with that vote of confidence, folks, we'll wait and see. That's not a no. That's the thing to know. That was not a no. It was not the weather won't cooperate at all. It was, there's a chance. It's about finding the gap. Of course, as also mentioned, as launch viewers, we would very much like to be able to see more of the rocket flying and things like that. So hopefully, I don't know. Obviously we want this to fly, but selfishly, I'm now kind of hoping that they would push to Friday, although I know we just had that discussion about would they go on Friday or not. I guess No, go ask your question first, then I'll ask mine.
Muted on VMix. There we go. Sorry for folks watching.
Alex had a question. He was saying that's what we were talking about.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
So
Alex, what is yours?
I was gonna say the next sort of question after that is when, and I'm not meaning when launch. I'm meaning when would they make the decision to delay to Friday, right? If they were to delay to Friday, of course, we're not assuming that they are going to be delaying to Friday, but if they were, when could that be? Because also as viewers, we want to know if that happens, right? If whenever they decide to delay, then when is that? Is it going to be like while they are doing propeller load? Is it just gonna be many hours before? We've been here, right? It's not it wouldn't be the very first time that they delay due to weather a Starship launch. So when? Maybe Ryan, you could start.
Yeah. So when thinking about when they could make the call, if you look at tonight, basically stack the ship, hook everything up. The teams will take a look at everything, make sure everything's good to go before they come in for the morning. And you also have to notify like shifts at the launch site and to not come in. Basically, they'll get the day off, and shifts over at the production site might end up getting a half day or something like that, dependent on the flight and everything like that. Also, to make the call whether or not to evac the village the next day. So there's a lot of things and whatnot. So if they do, they could make the call tonight. If they get close enough, or they're looking at the weather and they go, you know what? Let's not roll the dice. Let's not have to go through all the motions. Let's just push it to Friday. The other time they could do it, and also a benefit for them if they were to call it tonight, would be that everyone doesn't have to show up for a morning to go on console, because they have a 12-hour countdown with what they do with Starship these days. It's like T-minus 12 hours based off what we've seen with their website. When they do that reset, it always like resets to T-minus 12 hours. So that's the guess for their launch, for their full countdown, which means 5:45 in the morning could be the call to console for those teams. That's pretty early. If they don't have to do that, that would probably, make everyone happy. I mean, it thinks you're not launching, but you're also like not coming in to not launch, and you just, get to take the day to do other things. So they could make the call then, or they can make the call before that. There's also the thing they could do it like they did with Flight 7, where they get into the count, they're looking at it, they do like a weather update, they'll launch a weather balloon, they'll take a look at the data and think, it's not looking great for like 6 hours ahead, let's just call it. So there's definitely a lot of different times that they could make the call on whether or not they go or not. It's just one of those things we'll have to pay attention to if SpaceX goes ahead and posts and says, due to weather concerns or whatever, we're pushing it to Friday. We'll see if that happens. But as of right now, they are still trying for tomorrow. We don't know the percent go. All we know is they said the weather was a significant concern, as Adam just talked about. And as of this moment, the window opens in 24 hours, 57 minutes, and 40 seconds. So we'll see if they do make that. Now you see there, after the additional pre-flight testing was complete, weather is currently a significant watch item for launch. So we'll see if they go. But I would say pay attention to SpaceX, pay attention to our socials, pay attention to a lot of things to see if for some reason they don't go. And it'd likely be because of weather. So we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, you should be following the NSF socials anyway on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and X. So yeah, you should definitely follow us on all of those, because as soon as we know, we will share it with you as well. Also, there's been, I think Chris Bergen said, over 50 tweets/X posts today with all of the stuff coming in from the field. So if you like your Starship goodies, you should absolutely go check out the socials. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when and if they decide to call it. So I guess that brings up the other question then of, let's say they decide to just proceed anyway. Could they just consider this a free wet dress rehearsal after everything that happened with the engines? And a reminder for people, do they have enough propellant to do back-to-back days of fueling Starship? Ryan, you want to take that?
Yeah, so if they want to, they could treat tomorrow as, well, we'll push ahead, and if it doesn't look good, we'll just treat it as a wet dress roll. They could definitely do that. It's like a bug on there.
Really
they could
big
make
bug.
that call. The other, how was I going to say? I got distracted now.
You file a bug report.
But yeah, they could just make tomorrow a wet dress if they so feel like it. Oh, that's right. If they need to do a 24-hour turnaround, they would likely have to bring in a bunch of tankers to top everything off, because they expend a decent amount of LN2 and LOX out when they dump a lot of stuff overboard. So there'll be a line of tankers, as there usually is, between chances or something like that, or after wet dress rehearsals that in the past. So they'll just fill up the tank farm, and they'll be able to go after 24 hours, even if they do a full wet dress rehearsal tomorrow. So yeah, it's totally doable to do a 24-hour turnaround.
Which, again, considering how much propellant it is mind-boggling. Considering how fast they load the propellant is mind-boggling to me. All of that.
That's what they did
now,
on...
Adam was mentioning... Oh, go ahead,
Oh,
Alex.
sorry. I was going to mention that's what they did on Flight 12. But also, as Ryan says, it also entailed having a really long line of trucks. You can see there in that in that view. That is basically where you will see lines and lines of trucks just going out, and then another line coming back. There will be like basically the trucks in both ways. They will be like line up, because some were going out to the pad, the others were coming back. So yeah, it was funny when we covered that 24-hour recycle. And we were on the stakeout stream that morning, and there was like a line of just tanker trucks going out to the pad. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where I'd put my line of tanker trucks, if I had one. So, yeah. But what I was going to ask you originally, Alex, was we had one of our Capcom members for their 26-month anniversary one asked, could they run the tank farm and load fuel during the rain? Because Adam did mention that it may have storms that pass through, but if you get that one break in the clouds, then you could be okay. So, I don't know. Is that a possibility, Alex?
Well, I mean, they can do a bunch of the pre-launch things before any rain comes through. The problem of rain if it is accompanied by thunder, basically. That is one of the main concerns when you have something as explosive as the tank farm, right? Especially moving all of that. Like when it is on the ground storage tanks, it's all there and it's good to go and all that. The problem is when you put it in movement, right? There's always more possibilities for things to go wrong, and especially with thunder above you. We've seen in the past, I think even Booster 20's static fire test that happened a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, that one was preceded by a very quick thunderstorm that passed the launch site, and they did not kickstart the tank farm until after the thunderstorm passed. And then we got into propellant load, and they did the static fire, everybody happy, and we went into launch preparations. But that's basically what we see also at other pads. For example, at the Cape, they are not allowed to load rockets unless there are certain weather conditions. Like if there's like a thunderstorm 10 miles away, they cannot load certain propellants into certain vehicles. They cannot pressurize CUPVs and things like that. The composite override pressure vessels, the ones that contain usually like high pressure helium or high pressure nitrogen or other sorts of gases like that at high pressures, because if something were to go wrong and the rocket gets hit by lightning, then even on the pad it can still be damaging to all of the surrounding infrastructure. Also, like it could endanger people close by, and so those are one of the things that they have to take into account. And if that's at the Cape, it's not that much different here at Starbase, even though, of course, at Starbase, there's one big difference with the Cape, which is it's not the lightning capital of the world. I think it's crowned Florida, right? Like Florida
It sure is.
has lots of lightning compared to South Texas, but still, if there's a thunderstorm nearby, you probably don't want to roll the dice and risk your chances. We had on Flight 7, I believe Jay has this ready. We had during the stakeout stream on the first launch attempt, we had some rain coming through, and we were like, "Uh-oh, is this gonna scrub the launch?" And initially it didn't, but then as we were getting through the countdown, you can see there it was already like under 7 hours to go. The road closure was supposed to go at that point. We did not see, like, the only thing was like a few cop cars basically around the roadblock, but we did not see the road closing. Until then, we started hearing, yeah, it's a scrub. And so they scrubbed that day. It was very rainy. You can see it there in the footage. It was not a great day for launch. Sometimes it's just like this in the morning and then it clears out. That day was still very much rainy until like an hour to launch. It eventually cleared out and it was, clear skies and all that, but it was already like 8 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. It was already way out there. But yeah, you can see there, yeah, it was because of Isla Blanca. Yeah, I remember now. They opened the Isla Blanca Park boat ramp, and so that meant that, they were not going for a launch that day. And eventually it happened the next day. But I mean, you can see it there on the right, on the replay that we're playing there of Flight 7. Look how cloudy and raining and bad of a day that was.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if that
remember.
was tomorrow on the stakeout, if I'm gonna be honest. But we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll see if we see based on cloud cover and rain, but I guess technically we'll see. We also, if you were in chat, it's hard to see messages because Patrick Bob, a regular name we see here, gifting 50 red team memberships. If you did get one of those gifted memberships, please give Patrick Bob a thank you. Patrick is awesome. We appreciate all the support during the Raptor sides and all the Starship stuff as well. It's a great time, by the way, to become a member because during the launch streams, we have our members multi-view where at any level of membership, you get to see all of the different cameras that we have across Starbase. We've got the robotic ones, we've got human-operated ones. There's some really cool stuff. And also the behind the scenes. So if you're wondering how the stream is actually produced and made, you get to see all of that too. And that's any level of membership for those. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, SpaceX Rocket Nerd as well, becoming a Red Team member. And let's see if you guys get this reference, either Alex or Ryan. Ready? Turtle Sanctuary with the first super chat. Phenomena.
Da-da-da-da.
There you go, Ryan got
I
it.
didn't want to go any further. I don't want to get us copyrighted.
It's just, I'm saying the word phenomena. Go ahead, what's your part? Well, hang on. That was the first one. Then another $10 super chat from Turtle Sanctuary that also says phenomena. 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 I'll put the third one. Phenomena.
Oh, thanks, Jay
Anyway.
Keegan. I love how I said I don't want to get copyrighted, and Jay Keegan in the back channel goes, "Your singing isn't that good." Thanks, Jay. Although you are correct,
More of the Spanish flea.
Anyway,
I'm just gonna have my my espresso with my my lovely the original Starship launch mount mug there.
Yeah, looking back on Flight 7, that was quite the shock. It was like, wait, that's Pad 1.
Right?
Yeah.
It's weird seeing that pad now. This is weird considering how much nicer this one looks.
it really shows the jankiness, for lack of a better word, of how that actually looked. And the fact that it worked still boggles my mind. Just saying.
It had,
by the way,
character, and it was a booster test stand turn launch mount. And as they even said in their latest one, it was scrappy, because I like to call it pad scrap.
Is that a tanker going by? right underneath
It
Hoppy.
is.
There we go. And
it is.
there.
It looks like it, yeah. That one's going outward, it seems like, not...
Yeah, going out. And for people that might
Yeah.
not, might not be familiar with the launch site, to the right, you go away from the launch site. To the left, you go to the tank farm. So, yeah. So, left unloading, right going away.
So Sawyer, if you
Yes,
want to
Ryan.
get one of these mugs, you know where you go.
You can go to shop.nasaspaceflight.com. That's definitely where you should go, which, yes, that is still available as the Flight 11 Memorial OLM Tribute. But if you want to go with V3 and what's happening now, we have our Starship Flight 13 collection available, including the patches and pins, which, a reminder, once they are gone, they are gone. And we are now under 40, I believe we're about 40% of the patches remaining and about 30% of the pins remaining. So if you want to get it, now is the time, because as mentioned, once they're gone, they are gone for good. We don't reprint them again. Again, I love the design from Jacques. The subtle thing, like that's the landing burn. How many engines on the landing burn? 13 for Flight 13. So hopefully we get lucky number 13 as well, and hopefully the frost line gets higher than that tomorrow. And hopefully the only time we see it that low again is when the booster is actually splashing down in the Gulf tomorrow as well. But, I mean, of course, if you don't want to just get the patches and pins, you can also get it on shirts. You can get it on sweatshirts, on the lightweight sun shirts that we have, the ones
You
that are
can
now
have it on the
UPF 50
shirts.
plus, keeping it cool. Yeah.
Just
You
got
know,
mine
it's-
here, waiting for tomorrow. There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the one that I'm gonna wear tomorrow. Hopefully, we don't get any scrubs or anything, because then this one also needs to be scrubbed. See what I did there?
Well, I will say, I wore mine on the first attempt, and it has been scrubbed since
What?
with laundry detergent and a washing machine and dryer, but, you know. And again, if you don't want to wear something, you can always just get one of the etched tumblers or whiskey glasses that it's Dan's daughter that actually does all of that, which I didn't know until recently, which is really cool. And again, I know we plug the merch and stuff a bunch. It allows us to help have the cameras out there that bring the views to you, the multi-view that we're going to have, to bring all those cameras. And I like it because then you get something in return. It's not just, oh, here's money. It's you get to then support the stream, but also you get to rep something, have something to wear, have something to own. I love that. So just putting that out there. And thank you to everyone who does support.
The cameras that capture this, that capture these pictures. There you go. Another plug.
Ah,
There you
yes,
go.
the remote ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
those were placed by photographers that also get a cut out of those
Yep.
prints.
Exactly. There you go. Multiple plugs. There we go. As much
Well,
as
that
we
one on
can.
the top right,
But
though,
hey,
is
they're
kinda
awesome
meh.
pictures, so you want more of those.
Why are you showing me? I'm not saying anything. I'm not plugging anymore. I mean, you can get the Raptor one. There's a whole engine merch collection if you want that. It's already a little bit
Anyway.
old, but hey, that means we've been running it for a while, so got plenty of chances to get that.
And not only that, it also means it's held up well in the wash.
That's true, because man, I've worn this international flights and all. Just saying.
Anyway, let's get back to this here. Here's one from, I can't tell if it's Leon or Ian Sandal. Sorry, it's hard with the font here. They're wondering, Ryan, speaking of pins, are the functional catch pins on Ship 40 and or Ship 41, or are they kind of stand-ins?
They've had functional catch pins on ships since Ship 35. It was 35 that got the first ones. Yeah, I think because
Flight 9.
34 had the like they threw it on the side, and then 35 had actual pins. Although 35, 36, 37, and 38 really couldn't be used unless they were to catch them at Pad 2, but Pad 2 wasn't operational yet to do that. Because Pad 1 could not catch those. The sticks would needed to have been modified. So in reality, the only ones that actually have operational catch pins are been 39, 40, 41. 42 has its pins, and 43 should have them as well. So in reality, those are the only ones that actually have operational ones. But they've had like, I mean, what they were lifting ship 35, 36, 37, and 38 by their catch pins.
And
When they installed those, they stopped using the lifter on the nose and they started and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And if you remember, Ryan, 35 in particular, it rolled out into Megabay 2 without those, and then it got them afterwards. Like, it got them in the bay. Whereas Ship 36, it was the first one that actually came out of the Star Factory with the pins.
I remember. I now remember them adding the pins to 35. I remember watching them
It had, like,
back
the cutouts.
back when we could actually really see into Mega Bay 2. They were adding them the doubler plates and everything to add in the actual pins and everything. So yeah, they've had them for a while. Yep.
And it looks like we've zoomed in on one of them right there.
Yep.
On the right side of the screen, and those will be the same ones that hopefully soon TM will lift the ship on top of Booster 20, right?
Yep.
They engage with those because Block 3 got rid of the sockets. Those are no longer a thing because those, the socket pins don't exist anymore on the Pad 2 chopsticks. They got rid of those after flight 11. So yeah, it's now just the catch pins along with the catch/lifting pins, I should just say, along with the stabilizers, basically like the booster. So they made it a little more integrated, much simpler, and they made the ground side simpler and the ship side simpler when they just moved to those, and they hold up pretty well on reentry based off of the couple of flights that have gone through reentry, even like 37 and 38. And then 39 looks like they held up pretty well. I'm curious to see how they look. I can't wait to see zoomed in shots of them when a ship comes back. There's a lot of zoomed in shots of a ship I can't wait to see when it comes back. I want to see that heat shield in all its glory.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's going to be amazing. And it's worth noting also, that's the same way that they do it with the booster now, is the same catch points that they have, basically the grid fins there, is also the lifting points back onto the launch mount too.
Yeah, the points for the booster had been around since
7?
Booster 4.
Oh, 4 also had them?
Oh wait, yeah, it's been 4
I
because
think
they
so,
had
yes.
they had the weird hook lifter for Booster 3 for BN3. And then they've had basically, I know, remember? They've had pins basically since 4, but they were kind of, I think if I remember correctly, they were redesigned on 7. But I have to remember again.
Yeah, because the 4, the ones on 4 were also to be able to be with a claw thing on the arm, remember?
Yeah,
they were
that's
supposed
right.
to
Because
be,
the claw. Yeah, that got removed.
They were
after
supposed
that.
to be used by the chopsticks, but they were not used with Booster 4. Like, the first lift with the chopsticks was actually with Booster 7, like a year after the first
they
full
couldn't
stack
lift
and
it with
everything.
4.
Yeah, and so, but with 4, they did try to use the claw, and that was only once, and then they removed the claw, and it was never used again. But yeah, it was supposed to sort of attach to the lifting points and use that to keep the stack in place, and not let it move. Then they said, "Why are we using this? Let's just put the ship on top."
They
and just
realized that it
keep
was
there."
it did more harm than good.
Yeah,
claw.
'cause the alignment.
The alignment actually became a giant pain. So they removed it entirely. They're like, nope, this doesn't work. So they removed the claw, and then the jack screw for it and some of the hardware stayed on the elbow of that until it was scrapped a couple of weeks ago after they removed it off the arm.
Wow, the old remnants of what was, how it used to be compared to what we have now, which, let me see, can I catch it? And no, I can't. All right. Anyway, it was worth a try. Max with a question that sounds like a Alex spreadsheet question and also memory question.
Boy, let me open it.
They're
then.
asking, has Starship ever S-worded more than 2 times?
Oh, I don't track that. So, Ryan.
Yes.
You probably do that.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Flight 10. Remember? Flight 10, the first attempt, they blew the LOX line on the SQD, and then the second attempt
Oh
was
boy,
weather.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
they had that. They did that 24-hour turnaround after replacing the flexible hose, the primary liquid oxygen supply line to the ship. They replaced that over the course of the night. They tried again. Weather got in the way, and then they tried again, and then they went on the third try. So yes, it is scrubbed twice. It's scrubbed twice once. So, yep.
Jeez. I forgot about that. It all kind of blends together.
Right?
Also, the fact that we had a great streak where like 3 flights in a row just went off first try, and we were kind of spoiled. It was great, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
Let's see here. Thinking through, because Flight 1, of course, had the scrub to the frozen valve. Flight 2 went off first try. Flight 3 went off first try. Flight 4, first try. Flight 5, first try. Flight 6, first try. Flight 7 had a
weather delay.
midday scrub. Then it went. Flight 8, first try. Flight 9, first try.
Flight 8 also delayed, remember?
Was Flight 8
It was originally supposed to be March 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, and then it delayed to March 6th.
Oh, that's
Was it?
right. I think so. It might have been. I can't remember if it's scrubbed during the day, though.
I know because EJ was out there and he said, "Oh, this is because it's me. It's because
Yeah.
I'm there." And I'm like, okay, don't beat yourself
And then,
up
of course,
so
Flight
much.
10 had the double scrub. Flight 11 went first try. And then, of course, Flight 12 had the initial scrub. And now Flight 13 has had an initial scrub. So,
Yeah, we have been spoiled with so many, like half of the Starship launches have gone on the first try.
It's
And there's
impressive.
been only like other 2 that, yes, they were scrubbed, but they were like by weather, right? Like the thing that
We've had
happened
2
last
weather
week
scrubs, I
is rare. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what was odd is, and it's completely a coincidence, is that they had 2 T0 scrubs in the same week, but they're completely different vehicles.
With
But it was
Falcon 9
it was a
Starship.
weird one for SpaceX. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, and I feel like a lot of people just don't look at the stats. Like this is a rare thing when it happens. It's consider yourself lucky that it happens so rarely. We were talking about that for Falcon 9. The last time it had happened was December 2024. That was with the Arianespace mission, which is like 200 launches ago or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I will have to look up my spreadsheet. But basically, like many launches ago, that thing happened, right? It's really rare. Electron also did that recently as well on a recent mission. So it's not even just SpaceX, it's other rockets as well. Sometimes when it doesn't go, it doesn't go. That's how it is.
And then you get Artemis 2.
Which launches on the first try.
Yeah, there's no way it's going to
Somehow.
launch on the first try.
SLS.
It's so complex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Out of all the rockets.
Yeah. Yeah, that was still kind of wild. Jay Keegan in the back channel asking, so given that revert back to block 1? I mean, technically they didn't delay on the launch, but the question is, I guess, what happened once it launched, so...
Well, I mean...
Yeah.
It was decently successful towards the end.
Let's be honest here. Block 1. Let's be entirely honest here. Flight 1 is Flight 1. We're just going to get, Flight 2, I mean, Ship 25 blew up because they decided to dump LOX right into open rocket exhaust because, well, why not? And then Booster 9 blew up on boost back burn. But then, Flight 3, Ship 28 got into coast. It wasn't controllable, but it got there. And then Booster 10 almost made it all the way. Flight 11 was almost flawless. Flight 4, I mean. I'm thinking
Booster 11.
I'm right. Was almost flawless, other than the fact that they almost lost Ship 29. Flight 5 was, still to this day, Flight 5 is the most successful Starship flight in the program's history. They caught a booster, and Ship 30 landed on target. They have not replicated that yet. It has almost been 2 years. they have not replicated that yet. Hopefully, they'll replicate that maybe at the end of August, early September. In fact, they might supersede it if they catch both. But they haven't replicated that yet, which is weird. That's weird to say. And then, of course, Flight 6, they had the offshore divert. But, like, Block 1 didn't do that bad considering how experimental it still was, which is kind of funny because Block 2 was kind of, we'll forget about the first 3 flights of that. Well, and 36.
Yeah, one of the things of version 1, block 1, whatever you want to call it, is that at least every single flight was better than the previous one, right? Like flight 1, horrible, lost gimbal control of the engines on the booster. It basically spun out of control. Then flight 2, you got all 33 engines, etc. Like it got better. And then we got version 2, right? And it got worse. And so right now, it's like the thing with version 2 and 3 is that version 1, the problem is, yes, it did the catch, it did the thing, got the ship into space and all that. The problem is it will have had very low performance to low Earth orbit, right? And you want to have a rocket that is more capable, that has more performance in order to be able to do all the things that they want to do. And so if you got only a rocket that can maybe do like 20 or 30 metric tons to low Earth orbit, that is not great. You know what I mean, right? Like that is not super great. This ship over here that I have above me, that carries 37.5 metric tons, that is the most that SpaceX has ever launched in terms of payload. And so that gives you, when you run the numbers, and especially with the remaining fuel that they dumped after they got into space, it gives you about 80 to 90 metric tons of low Earth orbit of performance. Might have been a little bit more if it hadn't lost that RVAC engine during flight. And so at the end of the day, you're getting a fully reusable rocket that can do about 100 tons to low Earth orbit. The problem is they need to demonstrate that. And so flight 12 was sort of about, getting started with version 3. Let's see how it works, and then we fix whatever doesn't work. And so hopefully with flight 13, especially this point in flight, that boost back burn and flip of the booster, hopefully it works. But that's one of the things as well that we're looking for on flight 13, whether it works or not. And if it works, and the booster gets to the Gulf in one piece and lands softly and all that stuff, maybe flight 14 will be the first catch. We'll see. Version 3, of course.
Ooh, yeah, that would be fantastic. Fingers crossed we get to that. Yeah, so let's not go back to Block 2. Let's just pretend Block 2 never happened, okay?
I like Block 3.
Let me thank some people.
It worked pretty well for the first flight.
Yeah, so far, the ship itself splashed down exactly where it was supposed to, even if we didn't get the booster splashed down in the Gulf. I'd consider that pretty good. Let me thank some people here. Neil Jackman becoming a Red Team member. Lars saying, "Oh, here is money. Thank you." It's great.
Okay.
Mafia Lux coming in here with a question asking, could they possibly make Super Heavy capable of launching during adverse weather conditions? I mean, Ryan, they do that with airplanes. They will still launch planes if there is rain and clouds and, I guess, not direct lightning over an airport, but nearby lightning. Is that going to be a possibility to get that, hourly launch cadence even in bad weather?
Well, for aircraft, if there's lightning within 5 miles of the airport, you shut down the ramp. If you can still get some of the airplanes off, you get them off on a different runway that has them take off away from the cloud, away from the storm, so they can either go around it or away from it. But there comes a point at which you can't take off anymore due to lightning and stuff. And if they do, there's a chance of getting struck by lightning, and that causes a whole load of problems to the airplane. You can cause static wake damage, electrical damage. The sheer energy of a lightning strike can blow holes through the fuselage, or damage flight control surfaces and stuff like that. So that could still happen with Starship. You could have a lightning strike on the ship, and all of a sudden you get a hole or significantly damages the flap, and that's not great. Or maybe it flies one of the flap motors. So you don't want that to happen. Or it hits the vehicle, it travels down, and it fries a grid fin motor. You don't want that to happen either. So you want to. Eventually, they'll be able to get Starship to launch through more adverse conditions over time. But basically, there's still limits at which you're not going to be able to launch through wind shear, lightning, that kind of thing. But it'll take time to hone it in. But just like aircraft, there are things you don't want to fly through, no matter what.
Yeah, let's fly through a tornado. How about that?
Yeah.
But then how do you get to that airport-like or airplane-like cadence of, being able to launch once an hour like they want to, considering that 3 of their launch pads are going to be in Florida, the lightning capital of the world?
Do planes fly in Florida?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is what needs to be done to Starship to make it plane-like.
Then there you go.
Well, there's the thing, is either you accept the risk of flying through statically charged air, and you risk either static discharge or you risk a lightning strike, or you don't accept that risk and you decide, no, we're not going to do that. It's whether or not you're going to accept the risk, or you make the vehicle hardy enough to be able to take a lightning strike without any issues. That's going to be something they're going to learn over time. As they fly the vehicle more, they'll learn its limits, and stuff like that. And that's just going to take time and whatnot. But again, there are just things that you cannot fly through. The vehicle has limits. So whatever those limits are, and whatever SpaceX sets those limits at, or the range sets them at, that's going to be that. And you won't be able to get around it. So,
well, hopefully our confidence is going up, because the sticks sure are. As you can see there, the chopsticks have moved up.
Puppies.
Closer to what looks like will be their lift position near those attachment points that we were discussing earlier. I guess now the question is, Alex, how soon does that mean till lift? Which I know is a funny question, because I know what the answer is going to be, but go ahead.
Yeah, the answer is we don't know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It could be at any time. Sometimes they just want to wait a little bit to do final checks, and things like that. You have to also think about the booster itself. Is it ready to accept the ship? Probably it is, but maybe you want to take a final look. That sort of thing you can think of when you're trying to do all of this. If you watch the Critical Path documentary series, that the second chapter of that series that SpaceX has released, they talk about things like the actuator not working, the not the actuator, the chain link on one of the skates got basically wedged into its own rolling. I don't know how it's called exactly, but basically it got basically stuck there and it wouldn't roll perfectly, and so they had to change for a new skate basically. And those things can happen when they do these things, and so they probably do more functional checks. They look at the sticks, they look at the whole carriage system, because those are not even like, a lot of times a lot of people ask, like for example today in Booster 20's testing stream, we got questions, for example, about, can I just rotate the whole thing to the other side of the tower? The problem is, for that you see this thing over there in that corner of the tower. That is part of the gripping. There's like a grip that goes across the tower. There's like a bunch of rails, and that's where you see all of those roller skates sort of rolling over the rails. And so you've got this thing basically hugging the corner of the tower. You cannot just say, I'm gonna rotate this the other way around, right? Because it's right there in the middle. And so this is one of those things as well, where you gotta check all of those skates and things like that as you try to get the weight. One of the things that we see normally is they take the weight of the ship or the booster when it's the booster, and then they do a final, like a few checks there. They also have the stabilizer arms, the little things below that sort of notch in, and then they help lift the like if these are the chopsticks, then you have the little stabilizer knobs there to be able to adjust the position and whatnot as you lift, and then position it over the booster, so that helps nudge a little bit the ship one side or the other. So they have to calibrate and actually put everything together and align it, which means it could be anywhere from 10 minutes to let's wait until tomorrow. Sometimes it's been like that. I'm joking right now, but it's because of past experience where it's taken hours or an entire night for them to say, let's lift the ship. And so, just saying, this could be a long time waiting. So let's hope it's actually a short time.
Yeah, that would be nice for all of us. But it's worth noting, as we saw from the past attempt, it's not crazy for them to stack it late at night, even tonight, and still have no troubles making their T0 of tomorrow, of the window opening about 24 hours and 20 minutes from now. They can still do that. I'm sure they want as much time as possible just to check everything with that full stack overnight. I will say I also think that it would help that this isn't their first time with the full stack of this one. First attempt, it was their first full stack of this ship and booster combo. Now they have some experience with it, so we'll see if that makes things quicker, either in terms of lifting, or they just lift later and do the checks quicker. Well, that's what we're all the Texas tank watchers, in this case, were the chopstick arm watchers, I guess, today.
And so right now, I for a second there, I thought the sticks weren't actually attached to the ship. My eyes were messing with me, but the sticks have gone up and attached themselves to the catch pins. The aft flap is out. So I think, what is that? The port flap is out. And then, so all that's left is technically for the sticks to take the weight of the ship, and then the stabs to go in. If everything else is hooked up. So technically speaking, they are actually relatively close to lift. So, yeah, we'll see when they lift. Maybe they lift quickly. Last time they rolled it out, they lifted within like an hour and a half of getting to the launch site. Maybe they'll be a little bit quicker this time since they're getting more and more used to it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, that seems to be the phrase with everything related to SpaceX, especially with Starship. It's, we'll see. Because, SpaceX gonna SpaceX.
The only time that you might have a hint is, for example, it doesn't happen every single time, but sometimes, maybe, especially if there's a lot of people, they might call it out on the PA on the launch pad sound system, because sometimes you don't want to have people around the chopsticks, you don't want to have people around the launch mount for these operations. It's mostly just automated, there's, or at least remote work, right? Where there's people at the launch control center, but there's none basically at the launch site for this sort of thing. So sometimes there might be some call out through the PA system and whatnot, but it's very far and few between. It's sometimes it is, sometimes it doesn't happen. So yeah.
Well, it's not like there's hundreds of people that are probably around the area right now waiting for the lift that would be able to hear it or anything. Not like there's a big launch schedule for tomorrow or anything. But yeah, we'll of course keep an ear out, keep our mics out, and we have all of the people out there as well, our entire field team down there for this launch. Anonymous, by the way, earlier was getting the patch saying all appendages crossed for a successful launch tomorrow. Happy emoji. Look at that. I love it. I like the little happy emoji there. And Connor, I don't know if that's S47 or if they mean Ship 47. It's hard when you're in a, space geek community. You all instantly think, oh, that means Ship 47. Not that it could just be their initial and a number. Predictions for tomorrow. Alex, I'll start with you, then Ryan, then I'll give mine.
What kind of prediction, though? Whether it's going to launch or not, or what's going to happen during flight?
How about both? If it will launch,
right.
And if it does launch, how will it go?
I'm sort of 50-50 in whether it's gonna launch tomorrow or not. The weather does not look great, that's for sure. but it also has a good chance of clearing out by the time we get to the launch time, so we'll see. In regards to the flight outcome, I think it might be a really good flight. I have high hopes based on what we saw with Booster 19 and Ship 39 that perhaps Flight 13 could be a fully successful flight, all of the flight objectives achieved, including the flip, the boost back burn, the landing burn with the booster, getting the relight in space with the Raptor 3 engines instead of, the previous flights. We saw that, but it was with Raptor 2, so, new engine, new propellant distribution system and all that stuff, so need to test all of that. And of course, the re-entry, the landing burn of the ship. Yeah, there's a good chance that it works. So I'm hopeful.
Ryan?
I think tomorrow will scrub due to weather. As for the flight, I'm going to go with reckless optimism and say it's going to go perfect. Because I so badly am tired of suborbital flights and I want to see an orbital flight like yesterday. So that's where I'm going. For once, I'm
Wow.
going reckless optimism. So, yeah.
Talk about both reckless negativity and positivity in the exact same state.
Well, hey. No, wait. But if it goes tomorrow, there's a chance it's really cloudy out. Do you really want that? Do you really want that for the last possible suborbital flight? No. Let's just wait till Friday. Nice, clear, sunny day, no wind, launches, looks amazing, perfect flight all together on Friday. How about that? What? You can come on.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm with you. I kind of don't want it to launch tomorrow just because of the weather. I mean, I'm ready for it to launch. We all are. We were ready for it this time last week, but alas, not to be. So I think that weather is going to be iffy. I think they're going to try and take it down to the last possible minute and hope for a gap. And I guess we will too. But if not, I would be very happy to see it move to Friday with clearer skies. And I mean, yeah, I think we need this to be a success, both for the sake of being able to finally get into booster catches, to finally be able to go into the sake of orbital flight, which will then lead to tanker testing, which then leads to HLS, which means we get to see a Starship on the moon sooner. So yeah, this better succeed. I'll just go with that, because I am ready for Lunar Starship to come out and finally see what it's going to look like, not just renders from 2 years ago. So, yeah. And then Bideford coming in with the support as well. Thank you so much, Bideford, saying, thank you, Alex, Ryan, and Sawyer for this countdown to launch. She says no launch on Friday as I'm stuck working. Ooh.
I mean, if we're gonna go with no launch when I'm working, then it needs to go on Sunday. Because I work, so, but I don't think it's gonna delay that much. I asked for a delay last week, and I got too much of a delay.
It was the monkey paw.
Like literally,
Curl.
I asked for a delay, and it went too much. So, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although there is this thing Bideford called calling in sick. I mean, there's say
What?
you went to Taco Bell and had some bad lettuce or something. I don't know. Come up with something so you can stay home, right? It's unbelievable. Not that I've ever done that before. No, totally not.
No.
At work when I worked a normal job before this. No, never. Anyway, thank you, Bideford, as always. We appreciate it. CJ Fellows is wondering, and again, I think this is we don't know probably, but CJ Fellows is wondering, was there anything done to the ship when it rolled back? And I'm going to throw in the question as well of, with it being a week, I don't know what the battery life is on those Starlink V3s, since they're real Starlinks. Could it be that they needed to either take them out or recharge them or something while they're in there? Alex, what do you think?
Extension cord.
I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen, but I really don't know much about what kind of capabilities they have in terms of recharging those satellites while they are inside of that ship. To be honest, it's not like we've seen much. The only thing that we saw was like a very quick shot from the bottom of the payload bay section inside the ship with all like the stack of 20 satellites on board. So I really have no idea what they might have done in that case. As I said before, it doesn't hurt to just do a few checkouts. Make sure that the thing that the booster has is not on the ship, for example, is probably a good idea. Just my thinking here. Many other things as well, such as, making sure that it's still good for launch. It's probably a good idea. Also getting it out of the weather, putting it on the Mega Bay, it's usually nice. Because it wasn't even when it was supposed to be on Monday, it was still gonna be like 3 days out there. So probably not the best idea to keep it out there for 3 days. If you don't need it, if you can bring it back to the Mega Bay, why not take it back, right? So, but as you said, we really don't know exactly. All the things that we can do is just speculate and give good reasons, perhaps, of why you would do such a thing. We don't know exactly what they did, so. Unfortunately.
Well, how about this then? For comparison, how do the V2 minis get charged? When do they get charged? And is there something maybe out at the pad that can recharge them?
I really don't know how those work, to be honest. I've got no idea about those either. They might have some kind of connection through the payload dispenser, the payload adapter on Falcon. And those get rolled out usually like a day or two beforehand, and they might even have access inside the hangar when it gets rolled out. So I really don't know how it works, to be honest. I don't see any wires connected to every single Starlink satellite or anything like that. Maybe they have plenty of battery to survive like a week, 2 weeks or something without deploying the solar panels. They have really big solar panels, to be honest. But I don't know. Yeah, I just haven't really seen that.
I wonder then, do those use the micro USB, or would they use a USB 2 for the ones on V2s and maybe USB 3 for V3s?
It's a lightning port.
No, we don't want a lightning port tomorrow because of the weather.
I mean, sure,
Yeah.
whatever.
Is there a USB-C hub inside that payload bay? And then just plug in all the sats. That's why I said extension cord. Just run an extension cord into the payload bay, right? That's all, right? Right?
Yeah. Right, now we're talking, yeah. Oh man, see, it's just that easy, folks.
I mean,
it's really just that easy.
They
Just
did
plug
do
it in.
something to 40 when it was in the bay. They added the decals. So they did do that.
It says S40 now?
It does say
but
S40.
they can fly without those. They were ready
Can
to
they
fly
really, though?
without those.
But I know, but they asked if they did something to it in the bay, and technically
Okay.
they did something to it in the bay. They added the decals. What do you want? Just saying.
I mean, I'm kind of glad they did. It needed the little S40 sticker on it.
Boosters,
At least they put the X on it for the first one.
Booster still needs decals. I swear to God, SpaceX. Come on.
Racing stripes.
Come on. I want like a B20 or for please, like Booster 21, like B21 on there. I want that. Please?
Put it in the same spots that they have on Falcon 9 for the booster numbers, yeah.
All the way up there near the grid fins.
Exactly, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, right by the catch points.
Yeah, put it like right under the grid fin or something. Like put it right under the rudder fin. That's perfect because it's not going to get hit by the chopsticks when it comes in, and all that fin does is just turn, on glide back in. So put it right under the rudder fin. That's where you put it. There you go. Perfect spot.
Yeah.
Why not on the other side?
Yeah.
I mean,
but all the Falcon 9s have
or
a
I guess you
sticker
could do
or
it
a
on the
little
raceway
label,
side
so.
too if you want to, but
Yeah. Yeah, Falcon 9s have the 4 numbers under the grid fins and in between the
they
legs.
have 2 numbers.
It's 4. It's 2 on one side and 2 on the other.
Oh, I thought you meant just that they would do all of like 1069.
So then we'll
oh,
69.
you meant like digits.
Like 21
yeah,
on either side. Then we'll do 21 on
Yeah.
either side of it. There you go. Under the grid fin and one next to the raceway. Boom, done. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, you meant sets of numbers, not
should
just
be
the numbers
also-
Yeah.
themselves. Because
On the chines as well. Paint them black.
anyway, I mean, someone did say, proven fact, everything goes faster with flames on it. Although technically, you don't need to paint them on. There will be flames if all launches coming out of those 33 Raptors. Just saying. Let's see here. While we wait to see what's going on with the lift here, see if it maybe gets some weight on the sticks. Luke Lanyon was asking, why not have retractable or extendable catch pins on the ship? They could fold inside for re-entry, then extend for catch. I mean, Ryan, does it add that much drag, and doesn't that kind of add more complexity?
It's the complexity that it adds. You need to make a foldable pin and a door. So you're already, and it's on a heat shield side. So remember, you're now having to make a door like the shuttle main landing gear doors. So that's one. You're having to make a door that can do that. That can seal itself up to the plasma. And then two, you have to build a catch pin that's retractable, but it's also robust enough to handle what ship right now is like 160 tons, plus you add any payload on board, so you're talking like 200 plus tons. If you're going to put a full payload on board, you're probably talking like 200 plus tons between them. So each catch pin has to handle 100 plus tons. And they ought to be retractable. Like it's just added complexity. If you can make them fixed and they work just fine and they don't melt, then who cares? It works.
Yeah. There's also the matter of where they are.
Yeah.
They are located in the payload bay section, right? And so if you want them to retract in, that means you lose part of your payload bay area. So that is not great. Whereas, this way, it's outside, it's simpler, it doesn't take up space inside of the payload bay, and as you mentioned, it's probably more robust, because the other way you will probably have to add more reinforcements so that the deploying thing actually can withstand all the mass and everything. Yeah, not ideal to make them retractable.
Also worth noting for the shuttle, it doesn't really have a retractability with those doors. Once those doors for the landing gear deployed, they are not going back up. It's not like there's an actuator that will lift them back into place. It then had to go into the orbiter processing facility where they would manually have to reclose everything in there because the whole, gravity thing. So,
yeah, one way or the other, though, you have to make a door that can withstand the plasma. Now, granted, it's at the edge, but still, again, it's added complexity for literally no reason and no real gain. If fixed points work, then just use fixed points. It adds weight, complexity, and a whole bunch of stuff. And also, if you come back, shuttle was gravity drop. So you open the things and the gear will drop by gravity. So it's pretty fail safe in that regard. But for the ship, you would have to have some kind of spring-loaded or pneumatic mechanism to deploy it, and then a way to lock it in place. And if one of those fails to deploy, and not only that, you're deploying it after you re-enter. So, like, after the peak heating and everything like that, that's you're asking. That's a failure mode to introduce into something that's why introduce that failure mode in there? There's no reason, because if one of them doesn't deploy, well, you're not catching the ship. That's it. You're done for. It's not going to matter anymore. So,
I mean, yeah, shuttle was 133 for 133 on landings. So, gotta give them props for that. The gear deployed every time. Let's see here. Getting to some more questions. Misty with an interesting question here. I know we don't have any of it in the 5 boxes right now, so sorry, Jay, but They're asking what will be the Megabay's purpose once Gigabay is operational. I mean, Alex, I know they've got the one that they're building straight to Gigabay in Florida. You've got the Battle of the Bays that Julia and Colleen have been sharing over on our socials, which you should be following NSF on all the socials. What's the point of them after this? Do you think they just demolish them and build more Gigabays?
Well, we'll see. I mean, definitely it's going to take a while until the Gigabay takes over completely, because as we mentioned before, it takes a while to outfit any of these places, even though the structure, you can see it on the top right, that massive Gigabay. Well, now you can't. Thanks, Jay. Okay, he moved it to the big one. Props to Jay for that. But yeah, you can see the 2 Megabays, the little ones there to the right, and then to the middle right, to the left, to the middle right of that big box. You can see there, that's the Gigabay. The main structure is getting there. They're almost like they're already on the last level. They still need to complete that, but they're getting there. Probably in the next month or so, it might be fully complete. Go ahead.
That is the final height right there. So
yeah,
it's not going to get any taller than that. It's just going to get cladding on it. So
yeah.
You
can see where the Megabays currently end right now, especially Megabay 1, which is next to the Gigabay. That is basically the height of the working space inside Gigabay. The other chunk above that, it's the same way that the Megabays sort of have like a little bit of office space, or I don't know. It's sort of like the one in Megabay 2 looks more like a visitor complex sort of thing for VIP and things like that. But whatever. The point that I'm trying to make here is that it's probably going to take a while, but even when it takes over, there's probably going to still be use for a little bit, not for a long time, but for a little bit of those Megabays. I can think of, for example, about ships getting inspections there, right? When they are returned and getting inspected there, because the Gigabay is for building, and right now, the thing is, they have only 24 work cells. They want to build how many ships a year? Like hundreds of them, right?
apparently.
You cannot do that just with 1 Gigabay. You probably need more. So longer term, I can see, it's not confirmed by SpaceX, but it's widely theorized by our community that they're probably going to be bringing down those 2 Megabays and then use the area where those 2 Megabays are located to build a 2nd Gigabay. I think there's space maybe for like another half of a Gigabay, if not
it's like 1.5
another third.
kind of, almost.
Yeah, if not a full 3rd Gigabay that could fit there as well. So definitely plenty of room there. I do think at some point we might see some specialization, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, having parts of the bigger Gigabay complex, like once they put together more Gigabays in that same area, there's probably going to be some kind of specialized area for things like inspections of the heat shield of the ship. Even though they want to do the quick turnarounds, it's probably going to be like planes where you do very quick checks every flight, but every a much longer this can probably be explained better by Ryan, but they have like longer checks after many more cycles, right? I don't exactly remember how many cycles, but some planes every now and then, like every 3 months or something like that, they get a check, they get another type of check every 6. Like those sorts of things may still happen, and you probably want to have a building for that, right? Just like there are plane hangars and all of the different things. Again, Ryan probably knows better. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll explain that here in a second. But I'll say one thing about the Megabays and just how horrible they are for the Starship program. And this week is like the last 2 days is a perfect example of why they need to go yesterday. So, Ship 40 was on the center stand in Megabay 2. And they were they wanted to keep stacking Ship 42. So they had to take off the 4-point lifter off of Ship 42. And this is actually, let's say this, before Ship 40 was even on the center stand. It rolls in. They have to take the 4-point lifter off, move it out on its stand. Then they have to roll Ship 40 in after they hook up the slings to both bridge cranes. because the bridge cranes are only 180 tons and ship 40 is now like 200 tons because of the payload plus its dry mass. So it needs both bridge cranes to lift it on the center stand. Well, now that that's done, okay, well, they want to keep working on ship 42. So they drop those slings, they bring the 4-point lifter back in, hook it up to the right bridge crane, grab 42 again, roll the next section out, weld that. Oh, well, we want to do the transfer tubes, but that takes several days to do, and we can't set the ship down when it's in. Okay, so then disconnect the 4-point lifter again, grab the slings in, grab 40 off, roll it out, then roll the transfer tubes in along with the 4-point lifter, hook it back up to 42, do that, put it back in, and then park 40 in front of the Mega Bay. That's what they had to do in order to keep stacking 42. It's horrible. And
so
then,
what you're saying is that they really, really need just a bay for looking at ships after they're built.
And a bay for stacking, which they do. They have separate stacking cells which have their own dedicated bridge crane. And then the transfer aisle bridge crane, which is 420 tons. So you won't need 2 bridge cranes to lift a ship or a booster. You just need a single one. And then, for example, Mega Bay 1, they couldn't bring 21 back until they brought 20 out so they could get it out in time. So 20 leaves, 21 comes back in. And of course, they couldn't start on booster 22 again until booster 21 was back on a stand, because then they have to, they need both bridge cranes to move 20 out and 21 in. So they just finished that. The cryo stand has left, and the A6 section, so the final LOX tank basic ring section, has just moved into Mega Bay 1. The next step is the CH4 landing tank, the transfer tube, and then the aft section, and then the LOX landing tank, and then the LOX tank for booster 22 is done. So they're finally starting to move ahead on that, and we should probably see the aft for ship 42 in the next few days here. But it's the fact that you have one entrance and exit for full vehicles and parts. Gigabay completely solves all of that. There's one exit for full vehicles, entrance and exit, and then all the other parts come in from the other doors. It is much, much better. I think as soon as they have booster turntables and booster work stands up and running in Gigabay, I think Mega Bay 1 is gone. They will demolish that thing. And then once the ship side is up and running, Mega Bay 2 goes as well. It'll take a while to dismantle those. They've got a concrete floor up on the top. They'll have to jackhammer that up and slowly take it down section by section like High Bay. Unless they decide to just knock Mega Bay 1 into Mega Bay 2, which would be hilarious if they tried to do that. But who knows what they'll do. Either way, it'll take a while to get rid of both of them. But I think they're going to get rid of them as soon as they can, because they are just a nuisance to the program at this rate. And then
the word you meant for all of that was bonkies. Oh, you're still going. Continue.
What? Well, I was also going to talk about, Alex talked about how things need different checks. And that's true. There's A checks, B checks, C checks. Like C check is a heavy check for an airplane where anything that's not riveted to the airframe is taken off. So for Starship, for a ship, that could mean stripping the entire heat shield, checking under it, and then redoing the heat shield. Things like that. So there's a lot of different checks that SpaceX will have to do over the course of time. I don't know exactly what they do with Falcon, but I would assume it's the same thing. After so many flights, they do more invasive checks and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of things that come with trying to launch Starship as much as you want to launch it, fly these things as much as you want to fly them. The logistics and maintenance, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to go with it. It's a massive undertaking to do this. So,
welcome everybody to Starship Flight 23. It's taking that long to get through Ryan's answer. Oh boy. Anyway, very thorough, that's for sure. I saw CJ in chat saying earlier, do you guys have an image of this alleged decal on Ship 40? If so, please show us, don't tease. Well, this is why you should be following the NSF socials, because Max Evans over on X, and I'm sure it's also been shared to Facebook and Instagram and Threads and TikTok and Blue Sky and all those, took a photo of it, and you can actually see the decal on it. And Ryan talked long enough that I believe there's even a square around it. There you go. So, in that green square, you can see S40. There is the sticker. This is from when it was rolling out just a short time ago. But yeah, under that, I know people are saying, is it the port? Is it starboard? Whatever. That side flap. I'll do an EJ.
There's
side
one
and
on both
That is
sides.
the
This is that side
starboard.
flap.
But yeah,
There's-
both.
There's one on the port and starboard sides of the ship. So
Yeah, that's the right,
Yes.
so that's starboard.
Yes.
port, starboard,
Anyway, yes, Jake
ventral,
Egan
dorsal,
correcting.
forward, aft.
Jake Egan correcting. That is not a square. That is a rectangle. Correct.
And I
it
agree
is
with
a
It still goes
rectangle.
in the square hole.
Jake Egan trying to remember his geometry.
It still goes in the square hole. But yeah, one thing that we can all agree on with the clock there is it's ticked below 24 hours. So we are no earlier than 23 hours, 50 minutes, and 45 seconds from the launch attempt of Starship Flight 13, Take 2. That is, of course, assuming that all of the weather holds out and that the testing that they did today worked and that everything is ready to go for launch at the opening of the window tomorrow. Now, Alex, as the person behind everything going on with NASASpaceflight, the app, and the website that you should check out,
Oh, geez.
how long is that window and what still needs to be done?
That remind me, I should probably check the checklist list, whatever. But yeah, the window is about 90 minutes. It starts at 5:45 p.m. Central, and it goes to, let me do the math, 7:15 p.m. Central. So yeah, it's 1.5 hours long. And now I'm gonna check that checklist to see if it's actually up to date, because I think I am very much the only one. Yeah, I need to click on ship 40 at the launch site. I think it's the thing that I need to check now.
Check it out the boxes. Yes, there's a whole Starship page / tab on it, depending on which version
go.
you're using.
It's
their
updated
Apple
now.
website.
Yeah, see, it's not, but now if he refresh again, maybe again, again.
Thrilling.
It takes a little. There we go. Now it's there.
Yes,
Takes a
thrilling
minute.
television, just refreshing a web page for a green check mark. There you go.
It was fun when we had the delay to Monday, and I had to uncheck a bunch of those, especially the notices, because some of the notices no longer applied, and things like that. And so I had to uncheck and check back with one of our people in the back channel say need pizza, and I was like, okay, did he post about this? There's this, there's that. Yeah, you can see all of the different notices and everything that are sent out. It's just so many things. And probably at some points it was a little bit outdated. Blame me for not remembering, but yeah. It's totally manual, by the way. It's not automated.
I was going to say, there's your proof that it isn't AI. It's not computerized. It's not AI running it. It's not Grok.
Well, it's Alex
people.
Intelligence, I guess.
Yeah, AI, yes, Alex Intelligence. But
For
yeah, no,
whatever
it's
it may
actual
be
people
worth.
running all of that. And people running all of our cameras and things that you see. These are not just randomly tracking with AI. This is people that are actually controlling it remotely from different places across the globe, including people at Starbase as well for some of those handheld, hands-on cameras. So just wanted to make sure, you know, that all of this is being brought to you by people. People, trust us. Anonymous came in with the store message getting, let me see what they got. I forgot to check before I clicked on it. There we go, getting the patch. Saying 13 is always lucky for me, sending it to SpaceX and NSF. Thank you very much for that. And lucky getting one before we run out of those patches and pins, which believe where it's around 40%-ish of the patches remaining and 30%-ish of the pins remaining. So might as well get it now, because again, once we mention it again on the big stakeout and launch streams when there's like 100,000 people, they go fast. So that way you make sure you have one. Oh my goodness. So continuing to watch here, Ryan, what are we seeing right now with the chopsticks here as we approach the top of the hour?
Well, I've been A/B testing it on my other monitor up here, and it kind of looks like it took the weight. What? Let me look and see if I can find the exact time code here.
The stabilizers
trying
are
to
still
find it.
not in, by the way.
No,
Just
those
for the
aren't
record.
in. But
Yeah.
if I A/B test it from like 5:52 to now, it looks like the sticks rise slightly. Either they're taking the weight, or they
Or they're
were
fully
going,
engaged.
or they're being fully engaged to the ship. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, Pizza's saying in the background that looking at CP11, they definitely took the weight. I'm not A/B checking CP11. So the next step is for the stabs to go in and then it lifts, because everything else should be set up. The problem is that could happen in 2 minutes. That could happen in 20 minutes. That could happen in an hour. That's the somewhat annoying part about that. There's never a really good timeline on that kind of stuff.
That's what we love to hear. No good timeline on things. Yay, SpaceX, as we see one of those tankers on their way out there. I guess. So what else would we be looking for then? What can we see visually from our cameras here to indicate that it would be more imminent?
Well, once the stabs go in, at that point, all they have to do is unlock the clamps and it lifts. Literally, the sticks have the weight, so basically, if they undo the clamps, the sticks have full control of it. And the next step is to make sure the stabs are in, which then gives it a 4 points of contact to the vehicle. With 4 points of contact, you can keep it nice and stable. And then they lift it. And that lift usually takes about an hour or so.
And so where is that on these sticks? So if people are looking at the screen right now, where would they be looking for that indication?
It's not on this view.
It's out of view right now.
Yeah, it's out of view. It's a little bit lower on the CP11 view. But
Is that a hint,
It
wink,
should
wink,
be
nudge,
on
nudge
the-
to lower it?
Yeah, that's a cue here for lowering the camera, but also it should be visible on the, I think it's Dune, one of the Dune cameras.
It'll
should
be
be able to
visible
see.
on Dune.
Yeah,
Or this. If we do
There we
this.
go.
there we go.
Asking
There's the
ye
stab.
shall
That has to
receive.
go in.
Yeah,
Both of them
that's
have
a
to go
little
in and
thing.
engage. And then it'll lift.
So that's that little triangular bit sticking down in the
Mhm.
bottom right there. Then there's a reciprocal one on the other side.
Yep.
Come on, SpaceX.
And that allows them to be able to push a little bit the ship, especially when it's being aligned with the booster. It kind of helps because it's more left and right, I think, right? That this sort of system helps on the kind of alignment. In terms of forward and backwards, that's not really much of a thing with these. There's like pushers on the top. But yeah, on the rails basically.
Well, that's how you know it's not NSF, because that's on the rails. At least not on a flame trench.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, look at that. Jay coming in with the rectangles again.
Jay Keegan
Thank you.
art.
Yellow now.
Is that a caution we're getting close color? Green was we're good. Yellow is caution we're getting close. And so once it's in and we put the box, it'll be red.
Wait, shouldn't green be good as an engaged? It's good to go.
It's like a red warning to stand by, stay clear.
There you go.
Oh, now it's orange. It's orange.
We're
It
going
looks
to condition
red.
red now.
It looks red to me, not orange.
That looks orange to me.
I don't know. You might need your eyes checked.
Chat, help me out here. Is that orange or is that red on your screen? That looks orange to me.
It's orange.
I think, Ryan, you're the one who needs to get your eyes checked based off of chat's continual orange
I
here.
swear that does not look orange to me. It just maybe it's just the lighting. And
We are
I
in
don't know.
orange alert.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go to bed. That's fine. I'll just get off.
That is the official orange of NSF Orange. That is the, what's the color called? The one that Jack loved all the time.
National orange.
Thank you. Yes.
FF
That
for
is
F 00, I think.
00, yeah.
I know I'm not colorblind. I know that, but
Do you?
it's possible that I'm just really tired right now. That's also a possibility. It's been a long day, Sawyer.
Well, it's not like we had testing or anything going on earlier, right?
It's
I mean,
not
Alex,
like
we did
me, Alex, and Jay have streamed for 5.5 hours now. Yeah.
I'm at 2 hours. I feel sprightly right now. And
Hi, camera.
is that trying to see if it's lifted off of the stand yet?
Doesn't look off.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, we're checking the transport stand. Apparently there is a gap.
The gap's getting bigger.
So
is that just me?
Oh yeah, no, it is. You're right.
So it is slightly lifting. So the stab should engage any time now. Then, because I think they like slightly lift it and disengage the clamps, and then they go ahead and put the stabs in, and then they go lift. You know, they actually lift the thing.
Of course, I wasn't getting ready to do dinner and finish a video that I was working on for the broadcast or anything. No, it's fine, SpaceX. Now you can do it.
Right? I was gonna go play some more. I was gonna play some more of the new BF6 season, and then no, I guess not.
I was going to review the content for tomorrow's launch coverage.
Yeah, and I was going to give you some of that content for tomorrow's coverage. Sooner,
Actually,
but...
no. When this is done, I need to update the launch article first. I got to do that first. Get everything updated on that end. So yeah, I guess all three of us have something to do regarding tomorrow after this is over. What does Jake Keegan have to do?
Make more rectangles.
Make more rectangles. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Rectangle. We have Mr. Map and Mr. Rectangle now.
Careful, they're rectangled.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it moved up a little more.
Come on, SpaceX.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
I think it's in the same position. I'm going back and forth, and it's pretty much in the same position.
By the way, Radcliffe48 saying, colorblind community checking in, it's brown.
It's
Very
brown.
clever.
That's good.
Oh, man. No, we're not lying. We wouldn't be going to sleep. We all have things to do. Stream doesn't just make itself happen for the stakeout and the launch. We all have a lot of stuff we work on. And now we wait.
Da-na-na. Wait.
Yeah, that's very copyrighted. No
No,
way.
that's why I didn't go any further than that.
Yep. So now we continue to wait and watch here at this point. So is the area clear typically at this point as well? Who is allowed around while they're lifting like this?
The area should be clear. I think the only place anyone should be is maybe up in the SQD arm. Because when the SQ or they're gonna wait to go on the SQD arm because the ship will lift. The sticks will get over where the SQD arm is, and then the SQD arm will swing back in as the ship is swinging back over. And the stabs just went in. So full lift any minute now.
Well, you know the lifting motion is just putting your thumbs up and pushing them skyward, like up, lift. Maybe that's your chance if we do enough thumbs ups or enough likes that it will lift. Is that how that works?
I don't know. That might be how it works.
I don't know. We got to try it, chat. Let's see what happens. It's one click. It's free. What's the worst that could happen? Anyway. So that is one step closer. I guess we're going to stay in the lower view here to see if it lifts rather than the... Do we have a camera with the stabilizers in? I know, backseat producing, Jay Keegan's absolute favorite here.
I mean, we've done that
Also,
a
shout out
lot
to
this
the
stream
person-
so far, so...
Our field team is reporting that the stabs are in.
Yeah, and you can see it
The
also
people
in
that are actually
other
out there.
cameras' view as well.
Yeah.
Why did I say
Also,
as view?
can report, hoppy is the preferred term there.
Yeah, you can see them
Yeah.
already in that view.
Definitely.
What,
So
when
that's
did
what we wanna see.
Ship 40 get to the launch site here?
About a couple of hours ago.
It rolled it
just after we started the stream.
about 2 hours, almost exactly 2 hours ago is when it rolled into the launch site.
So now we lift. And go.
Let's go, SpaceX. Let's go.
And...
Lift this ship.
Let's go. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, now it's just a waiting game. I know this isn't the most exciting conversational stuff with you, chat.
What do you mean?
Once
This is
it's
riveting.
moving,
What do you mean?
there's no rivets involved. It's stabilizer pins.
There's probably rivets on that ship somewhere.
Anyway. You must have a frog in your throat with all the rivet. So
Did you try to come up with something there? I don't know if that one worked.
Oh, come on. That wasn't terrible. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. Let's see here. Trying to look through all of the chat messages. Anything we can discuss while we wait for it to lift. I guess talking about weight with the lifting everything, Max was wondering, is this the heaviest payload SpaceX has ever launched? Is it heavier with the actual V3s than with just the dummy Starlinks?
Weren't the
Alex,
dummy
do you know?
sats were supposed to be the same mass? Right?
Yeah.
So, no.
But how many dummy sats were there?
This says 20 sats. The last one had 22. So technically speaking, Flight 12 was heavier. If the dummy sets are exactly the same weight as a V3, but then again, with the extra stuff they added to the 6 V3s, does that make up for that mass? Probably not, though, because that's like a ton. That's like 2.5 tons that are missing. So, or more than that, but
Yeah, it's a good question though. I mean, obviously I guess the simulators then were the heaviest thing that SpaceX has ever launched into space, right?
yeah, they'll probably set the record next flight, assuming this one goes well. Where they might do like a full load of Starlinks and do maybe like 60 Starlinks if they can. Or they'll probably do the max that the vehicle can lift up.
Yeah, because that's what I'm wondering then, is if any of like the Falcon Heavy launches or anything have carried more mass into space than the 22 simulators that we had on the last flight.
No.
I mean, let's say, what's the heaviest payload Falcon Heavy's ever done? Because if they do
Falcon Heavy doesn't really carry heavy payloads.
yeah,
It's a misnomer there.
So then what
because...
about...
What?
I was going to say, then what about Expendable Falcon 9?
The heaviest load that Falcon has carried has been Starlinks.
which is
That's it.
hilarious.
Okay.
Which is about
Yeah.
17 tons. That's the most that they have launched. 17 and a half, it's the highest.
Yeah, because Falcon Heavy's been taking those sats. It takes lighter sats into a geo more often than not,
Yeah.
or farther than that. So it needs that additional energy to take it there. Starship, like, I mean, what, even 40 Starlink V3 sats? What is that? 1.5? What is it? 1.7 tons per? Right?
What?
Is it 1.7 per V3?
1.7, yeah, per every single V3 satellite.
So even if they were to put 40 V3 sats on board, say flight 14, that's 68 tons. Like, I don't know the last time a single rocket put that much weight into orbit. Like, you might have to go back.
I think the
to-
largest and heaviest thing has been Skylab in one single launch, because Skylab was basically the third stage modified with the third stage of the Saturn V modified
was
to be a
Skylab?
station. I think it was
And that worked
way
that worked
more than
great once it
50.
deployed.
Yeah, I think it was more than 50 metric tons, if I'm not mistaken. It was heavy.
Yeah, there was no issues whatsoever with the rattling from the launch of something that large on the way that might have destroyed a solar panel and other issues.
Well, that's down to Saturn V being Saturn V. I know we had a discussion the other day. I think it was on the other Countdown to Launch that we did. Somebody was mentioning, oh, they launched people on the third launch of Saturn V. And it's like, yeah, and in hindsight, they probably shouldn't. They probably should have flown the Saturn V way more often, because it almost shook those astronauts apart most of the time. It was not a decent ride uphill.
Skylab weight. Skylab's mass is 168,000 pounds.
What's that in metric?
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah, how many tons?
if you divide it by 2,000, that's 84 tons. I don't know about metric tons.
Apparently 77, someone said in chat.
So well over anything that has been launched before, because if you think about it, what else has been launched that is even of that size? All I can think of is, for example, ISS modules or Mir modules,
Or
all of them usually in the 20-ton range sort of thing.
What was that? The second launch of Energia? The second, and
The Polyus thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Those are definitely smaller in terms of mass than what they launched on Flight 12, because, again, it's 37.5 metric tons. So the only thing heavier that was launched was Skylab, as far as I know.
Because
Yeah, because even now I was just looking while we're waiting for this. The next Falcon Heavy flight, which is coming up about a month from now, the
Yeah, that's 6
Nancy Grace
tons.
Roman Space Telescope, is only 10 tons.
Oh, 10?
Although it is going to Lagrange 2.
That's way heavier than I thought.
the
Yeah.
10,
The thing of Falcon Heavy...
10,150 kilos.
Yeah. The thing about Falcon Heavy, it's a misnomer, because it's not that it carries heavy payloads. It carries smaller payloads to faraway distances, right? Falcon 9, when it launches Starlink, it launches somewhere in the order of 16 to 17 metric tons, but it's to low Earth orbit. So the greater payload means it only carries that to low Earth orbit. Falcon Heavy, the heaviest payload, I think it's been around 9 metric tons. That was the EchoStar 25, if I'm not mistaken. It was an EchoStar satellite, which was like a very chunky satellite, very big. I think it's like the heaviest commercial GTO satellite that's ever been launched. That was like 9 metric tons. That was a beast of a satellite, basically.
Polyus was 81.64 metric tons.
Whoa.
It was 180,000 pounds.
That's ridiculous.
And Energia just chucked it into orbit. Well, Energia's payload to Leo is 100,000 kilograms. So,
I mean, we're getting towards eventual Starship numbers here.
I get
And
lifted
hopefully
up
we're
more.
eventually getting
Get lifted
towards
up more.
a lift.
I see a bigger gap now.
I do too. Come on, SpaceX, just
do
lift
too.
this thing. Let's go.
Come on, chat. Let's will it into existence. Lift.
I'm not going to start the
Lift.
timer until it actually gets a decent gap and starts going up, and then I'll start the timer for how long it'll take to lift this thing.
What's the record again? It was 40-something minutes, was it?
There it starts going, I think. Even more. No, the record...
A little bit.
The record was the second to last stack of Flight 2, and that was 33 minutes.
All right, we have a number to aim for here. Let's see if they go faster than that.
So we'll call it what time is it? We'll say. Do we want to say 6:18 is the start? It's 6:18
I mean,
p.m.
you could use the clock in the top left as well. Once it really gets moving, we start it then.
Chat, do we start it with the bigger gap appearing, or do we start it when it really starts going up? Because
let's see.
If we start it with the gap, then it's already going to lose. I'll just say that.
A lot of people are saying the gap, and it's about half. It's about 50-50 right now, honestly.
So the gap would have been like starting at like 6:05 or like 6:10.
I think right now, though, it's not actually lifting. It's just been lifted a bit. I think the actual lift in my books is once it starts the move, the full move.
Someone's like, do a poll in chat for it.
Oh,
Jake Keegan says when it starts making consistent movement. Okay, that's when we'll do it. So we're not going to hit it right now. Which it might be doing now, question mark?
Oh, yeah, it's going now.
Starting to go now. So we'll start it at...
Yep, start it.
6:19:45 then. Or, yeah. Or 6:19:30, I guess we can do it. So...
Yeah, that's a big enough gap that absolutely counts now.
We'll do... We'll say 6:19:30 chat, and then we'll see how long it takes to stack it.
Lifting, lifting, lifting. Now going faster.
Not a great spot to put a camera, Mr. Person in the Way.
Right?
Let's see. Yeah, it is definitely moving up. Thankfully, we have all of these other views. Wyoming Coast saying, that's not lifting, that's ascending with style. I like that. So it is on the way up, looking like it's going to... it looks like it has landing legs right now, courtesy of Hoppy there in the front, just saying. Oh, I love that from this view. It's like, this is kind of what HLS Starship will look like a bit, because it'll have legs. I mean, they'll be probably folded up for launch and released once it's closer to the moon, but still. All right, while it's lifting, again, we'll still keep taking more questions. You could tag us at NASASpaceflight or at NSF while it's lifting, because we have probably a minimum of 30-something minutes for it to all the way get to the top and be placed down. In the meantime, I will also thank Jesse Regier, I believe, for the support. No message, but still appreciated. And Radcliffe coming in again, saying, colorblind community checking in again with consistent movement. There we go. Yes, I didn't know if being colorblind changed your opinion of how you're able to see the lift or not. Oh, boy. Bender D was wondering, by the way, Alex, while we're talking about HLS, I know because you wrote a script for a video that I'm almost done editing. Does HLS need to fold those landing legs?
Need to fold the landing legs?
For the HLS variant.
Well, I guess for launch, they need to be folded. I don't know if afterwards they really need to be folded all the time. I have to check back on the... Well, I guess for refueling, maybe. Depends also in the way that they are folded out, or not folded out, but more like folded in and or like deployed. I But yeah, I mean they have to definitely deploy for the landing. That's for sure. I don't know if it is really like it needs to fold back or something like that. That will definitely be something that we'll have to see what happens.
We'll also have to see if this thing is still moving right now.
It looks like it is.
Is it now? Because it looked like it was stopped there for a bit.
Well, they sometimes take a little bit of time, but it's moving. It's definitely moving.
Chat's arguing back and forth on it, so I figured we should mention it.
It's still going.
Still good. It's still good.
Yes. Jaybird is wondering, what's the reason it goes so slow during the lift? If they want to do hourly launches, I know in parentheses, won't they need to do this in a maximum of like 5 to 10 minutes?
They're never going to do it that fast. The sticks can't go up and down the tower that fast, not with nearly 200 tons of weight on them. These lifts are like, they might get them down to like half an hour. But these lifts are always going to take time because you can't rush trying to put that much, moving that much material really quickly. That's incredibly dangerous. So these lifts will always take a while. Again, it's always funny when people mention the hourly launches. It's like, it's such an aspirational goal for this thing. And when you're talking hourly launches, I think I said it during the booster test stream, is I think the only way they ever get to that point is if they have 24 launch pads that they launch once a day from all 24. And they take over the all 24 hours of the day. I think that's the only way you do it, and it cycles through it. That's the way I can see it, logistically speaking. Like, I just don't see it any other way.
Well, I mean, because when you think about it, you would know best. Airplane turnaround time is, depending on whether it's a smaller regional or one of the, larger wide bodies, could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour for a regular airplane turnaround, which I know that's part of the aspiration that SpaceX has.
Mm-hmm. Well,
is it different when you have to then cool down engines that were just firing at, super hot temperatures?
The biggest thing with aircraft turnarounds, and it really depends on what you're doing. So if you're doing passengers, of course, your turnaround is based off of how long it takes you to board and whatever stragglers that are left behind, how long it takes the crew to get ready, especially the flight attendants and all that other stuff. For cargo, it's dependent on how long it takes to load the cargo, unload the cargo, load the cargo, and get it situated to go. I know that UPS and FedEx crews can unload and unload 47s, 777s, 67s, A330s in like 45 minutes to an hour. They can unload and reload them. They're quick. The things are all that stuff is set up to be an incredibly efficient system to go fast, and because we have experience with it, we've been doing cargo stuff on aircraft, or large scale cargo move on an aircraft since the Second World War. That's where we learned it too. When we started running C-47s, especially over the hump for when the Burma Road was closed, we learned that. Like, we've learned a lot with that kind of thing, and Starship is going to be one of those things where if you want to get to turnaround time, you're going to have to fly it a lot and learn how it works. When it comes to how quickly you can stack it, how quickly you can load the propellant on it, how quickly can you load Starlinks on board, or other payloads, they're going to have to figure out how to do things quickly. But first, you got to figure out how to do it. Like, they have only loaded Starlinks on board 2 vehicles so far with the speed loader. And each time, the vehicle was in the bay for at least, it seems like it took at least 12 hours. We don't really know exactly how long, but Ship 40 was in Mega Bay 2 for like 12 hours. We don't know if it took that entire time, but still, if you want to go faster, you're going to have to make that faster. The only way to do that is to keep doing it and figure out ways to make it faster. So, like, it's just going to take practice. The airline industry's got it nailed down because Airplanes have been around for 100 years. Rockets have been around for a while, but they've all been expendable, and you make it, you dump it. That's it. There hasn't been a case where you're trying to build a fully reusable system to land the ship, reload it, and then fly it again. That's never been tried before on this scale, or even with any rocket, period, really. Not at any kind of pace. Shuttle wanted to be that, as you know, Sawyer, it just never was.
My beloved.
Yeah.
One of the things as well, I mean, you mentioned about using it and figuring it out. That's sort of what they've done with Falcon, where they, at one point, I think, Kiko, for one of the launches that we saw recently, like maybe at the beginning of the year, maybe at the end of last year, I don't remember exactly, but he mentioned that it was like only 6.5 hours, if I'm not mistaken, from rollout to launch. Like they rolled out the rocket, they put it vertical on the pad, and they launched within 6.5 hours. That, if you were to tell somebody at SpaceX maybe like 10 years ago, you're going to get that far with Falcon, they would probably be like, wow, okay, that's cool. Because, you know, it used to be that the rocket will be out there on the pad weeks in advance, right? Like I think for the first flight, I think it was like 3 weeks before the first launch attempt for the first flight of Falcon 9. It was a long time that those rockets used to be out there. They got better over time, like very quickly, in fact, within the first 10 flights or so, they started getting, you know, a reasonable amount of time of turnaround between launches for what was at the time still an expendable launch vehicle, right? And when they started reusing vehicles, and then they started having the Starlink launches to launch many of these satellites, like hundreds and thousands of these satellites, then they also had the sort of goal to also be launching them more often and more efficiently, because of just how many times they really wanted to launch those vehicles. And so right now their overall record is, looking here, 1 day and 21 hours. So that would be what, 3 hours short of 2 days. So 45 hours between launches all on the same pad. So yeah, I mean, you can imagine, not with the same vehicles, by the way. This is not booster or any other kind of turnaround, but like pad turnaround. Starship is it's still like 10 times slower than that. And so it needs to get there, and the only way that you get there is just using it and optimizing,
And learning
not just the design.
systems.
Exactly, not just the design, but also the operations, knowing where exactly you can cut back a few things, where you can optimize the events that happen, etc., etc. There's just so many things that they can do eventually.
Like, yeah, it's just keep saying it. You just got to learn it. You got to fly it. The more you fly it, the more you learn it. The more you learn how to stack it, the more you learn how to static fire it. The more you learn how to load the vehicles, the more you learn just how to fly it in general. And then once you start getting the vehicles back again, because right now they've just been expending them. They're not getting these vehicles back to look at them, to see how they did in flight, to see how things worked. Once they start getting chips back, then they'll start learning it better. They'll start making a better heat shield, a better internal structure. They'll learn how that works, and then then you start getting the ships back, and then you start reflying them again once you're learning that. And that's just again and again and again. They just got to fly it. It'll take a while to get there. This is not something that all of a sudden they start getting chips back and the cadence just is going to skyrocket. That's not how that works. That's never how that even works. I know it's a fully reusable rocket, but never in the history of anything has cadence ever increased exponentially. I don't really think that's even possible. It'll increase in a progression, and eventually it'll start going up and up and up. But, you know, as the ship is doing right now, but, you know, yeah.
Very clever. Pun token awarded. But yeah, as you can see, it lifting up here, continuing that lift, which has been going on for about 15 minutes now or so. or a little under 15 minutes, if my math is correct, which me doing math at all is dangerous because that's why I went to school for journalism, so I didn't have to do math.
The SPD arm's
but now you
moving
can
back
see-
in, which is the next step, and then once that's back in, the ship will translate over, and then comes the part that always takes forever, which is lining it up and setting it down.
Yeah.
Now, I saw people asking about those little circles that were on it as it was lifting up, and those are part of the probe and drogue style docking system for the fuel transfer once that happens. But that's not where the fuel will actually transfer from, right, Alex? That's just the attachment points?
Yeah, that's just the attachment points, exactly. Similar to, I don't know, the same way that you have the chocks on the plane, right, for the wheels, and you have that, and then you have the gate. That's a whole different thing. You have either that or the stairs if your airline is very cheap. If it's very cheap, it's gonna be the stairs. But if they want to pay for the gate, then you're gonna have the jetway coming in and attaching to the plane and whatnot. But yeah, it's just a way of attaching the two ships together. And once the two ships are together, and if that docking system, fully works, then the two quick disconnects will be together. There's another sort of secondary connection, if you want to call it like that. The quick disconnect itself has another connection. There are like 4 latches where the QD arm, the quick disconnect port that the QD arm has, can connect to those latches, or I think it's the other way around. I don't know. The point that I'm trying to make is there's another secondary way of connecting the two quick disconnects, and we see now the ship is swinging to the side.
Translating
Yeah, we
over.
We can see the 3 vacuum engines, the bigger ones, the 3 sea level engines in the middle. Much darker, of course, because those a little bit more tucked inside of the ship's skirt there. Some people were asking why the white in the nozzles on the vacuum engines. That's just the ceramic coating that they have. It's been there for like almost forever, basically.
Does the Merlin vacuum have that as well, or is that
No.
just a Raptor vacuum thing?
No, that is Merlin. No, excuse me, Raptor. Merlin has just a very thin niobium alloy extension on its nozzle.
It's a very expendable extension.
Yeah.
Raptor has a ceramic coating plus a regeneratively cooled nozzle extension on it, because it's a reusable engine, unlike MVAC, which they just chuck away. Every time a second stage is chucked in, they lose an MVAC engine. So,
Yeah, instead of an angel gets its wing, second stage loses an MVAC. Something like that. But yeah, I mean, that is a good point that these are going to be reused, every part of it, finally. Although, again, SpaceX did look into it for second stages. Anyone remember the bouncy house? The bouncy castle?
Or all the
recovery for
ideas
stage 2?
to try to recover second stages, and the performance losses, I think, were kind of ridiculous on them, on some of the ideas, to where it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. I guess. It would have been really cool, though.
Just put an RVAC on, just make it a Methalock second stage for Falcon and put an RVAC on it.
Wait. Are we
Wait, would
talking
that
about...
nozzle fit in the interstage?
No. But apart from that...
I can't remember.
Apart from that, you're talking about a first stage Kerolox and a second stage of Methalogs.
Why not? Just
what kind
for
of rocket
reasons.
have I seen recently like that? Oh yeah, the Long March 10B.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I still wish, and it's still a wish that I had. I know how well GS2 performs, but I still wish they went with the vacuum optimized BE4 for the second stage of New Glenn. I still wish they had done it. It'd been cooler that way.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, then again, they could have always, for Falcon, they could have taken a page from ULA and gone for smart reuse, because we've seen how that is proven and
Right?
works totally, not an animation from 8 years ago.
Smart reuse totally was a thing and absolutely worked, and it was totally always going to be a thing no matter what, right? Right?
Especially the people who don't have YouTube Premium and get the ad all the time for ULA, yeah.
Yeah.
At least I've been told I do actually have YouTube Premium.
It's so funny to me that smart reuse, the recovery of the engines through an engine pod sort of thing, it might actually get done by China first, because there's a company out there that's sort of thinking about doing it. We'll see if they actually do it, but they've announced that they may do that. So it would be funny if they were to be doing it before ULA. But hey, look,
they've done the test of the heat shield stuff for it, just not the actual doing and removing.
I get an idea.
Yeah,
Alex.
and I mean, there's a clear thing to say here. After all, dumb reuse, aka the non-smart reuse, has only landed, I don't know, 640 times. Yeah, it's not.
I got an idea
useful.
for smart reuse, but it's better than smart reuse. To compensate for the extra mass and the and also because you'd have to fly the booster back or something, put like another 2 to 4 Gem 63 XLs on Vulcan, and then have Vulcan fly back and land our TLS style or AS or return to launch site or land on a drone ship with the core stage of Vulcan, because that totally wouldn't be cursed at all.
Oh, you're right. ULA, if you mentioned that, I'm glad. ULA is doing smart reuse attempts. They've been jettisoning nozzles on those Gem 63 XLs. I haven't recovered any yet, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I had to make the joke. I feel terrible about it. But
Really? You do?
No,
I mean,
not
again,
really.
I'll say this is it's still impressive that this stack, which is about to become a full stack again, didn't New Glenn itself a little over 7 days ago. So
Alternative timeline where right now, almost a week after the explosion, we're just looking still at the smoldering fires. on the pad.
Yikes.
SpaceX
Anyway,
taking apart the tower and saying, "Yeah, we can rebuild. Let's reuse the launch mount."
well, that the
mean,
tower
let's reuse the diverter.
Structurally speaking, that tower would be totally fine even if full stack blew up. Structurally speaking, I think the tower would be fine. That steel is way too thick for that, and it's filled
I
with
hope
concrete.
we never find out.
Yeah, I hope we never find out. I think the pad would be fine too. There'd be a lot of cleanup of just the vehicles, and then there would be a lot of lines you'd have to replace. But I think mostly, structurally speaking, everything would likely be fine.
So now, by the way, with what's on the screen here, where everything is intact, hopefully this will be fully intact, in that we will see the two attached together, which, Alex, you can kind of see them sticking up there, but for those who can't, can you kind of explain where the attachment points are on this, and how it locks into place?
I believe the attachment, so there should be one on the left. You can see there's like things sticking up. Some of those are actual just pins for alignment purposes, but others do actually have like the little, I don't know, it's like a pinch sort of thing going on where it sort of grabs onto the aft, right? I think there's only 3 of those, but there's like, you can see some other more sticking. Like here, you can see on the left, there's one pin sticking out. There's another one sort of middle right of the screen. The one on the right, I think, is just for alignment purposes. It does not have a
Correct.
like a claw, like a
You
pin.
can see which one
You
has
can notice.
a claw.
I was gonna say, you can notice, there you go. You can notice the one that actually has the claw, because you can see there's like a tube coming down from the side at the bottom. Yeah. And so that's is it hydraulic, the way that they actuate that, or
Pneumatic,
or
if I
electronic?
remember correctly.
Pneumatic? Okay, yeah. Well, that's the reason why. You can sort of see, I think there's another one on the right. You can see a few more lines like that on the right, but I don't know if those are specifically about such a thing, but There are other things. There are like sensors as well on the top of the ring.
The ship looks pretty aligned already.
It does.
Maybe some
I mean, we'll see
slight
once they lower it
adjustments or
more.
anything. They're at 21 minutes. So the fastest ever is 33 minutes, and that was Flight 2's second to last stack. That was the 7th stack of Flight 2 for Flight 2 back when they stacked like 15 times a flight, it feels like. But that's the most amount of times they stacked in a single flight was 8. And then, as Alex, I think, famously said back then, the stage separation was the 8th and final D stack of that pair.
Yeah, hang on, let me.
Oh man. By the way, I did say someone in chat just say if Starship blew up on the pad, SpaceX would only replace the box fan. I like that. Well, I don't know. What do you think? We almost have a full stack. Is it time to release the Flight 13 patch design?
Yeah. What? Wait, what?
Now that we haven't been here
Yeah,
before,
we have a full stack, right? Or close to
We're
a
about
full
to.
stack.
About to have a full stack.
Yeah, we've never
that's
shown it
usually when we
before,
do them.
haven't we? Never.
No, we've never announced this merch before. No, definitely not.
Hey, there it is.
Our flight. There you go.
Surprise!
Oh no, Jay Keegan leaking it. Yeah. Even though Kevin actually did leak it the first time. But yeah, if you haven't gotten it, Flight 13 patch and pins are all available at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. You got to check them out. They're really awesome designs. You've got the really cool look with the 13 engines for that landing burn, the colors, the frost line on it. It's amazing. Patches, pins, which, by the way, somehow, even though we just released it right now for the first time, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we're down to only 40% of the patches and 30% of the pins remaining. So get those while they last, because once our actual launch broadcast starts and there's a lot of people in here, they are going to go a lot quicker. So grab it now while we're in the more calm stream here.
You remember how we
Yes.
were talking about the alignment being good?
Yeah, it looks like
no
it's way
longer
out of it
good.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did an out alignment. They went the wrong way. They need to go. They need to go
Go
to the
back.
left. They went to the right. Go back. Go back. Go back.
The other east? I thought you said west.
Should have my brother-in-law out there on the quick disconnect arm and saying, "All right, to the right, no, left, hang on." You know the
Yeah,
usual
left.
thing.
The other left. Absolutely.
Forward, no, my forward, no, your left.
Yeah.
I don't know why they always like a few times here. They always seem to overcorrect in the wrong direction. It's like, wait, what are you guys doing?
Well, yeah, see, it's still going the other way, it looks like, from that little adjustment there. But it's SpaceX. They're the best in the business at this. They know what they're doing.
Do they though?
Well, they're the only one in the business of using chopsticks to lift a spacecraft to stack it on top of the other vertically like this. Right?
As far as
No
I
one else
know,
is doing
yeah.
that yet. Man. Come on, SpaceX, do the thing. Let's see. I guess we can get to some more chat messages and stuff in the meantime. Telstar86 with the £5 asking the question here, if they are looking to launch regularly, wouldn't that cause constant issues for airspace, given how big the TFRs are, the temporary flight restrictions? I mean, Alex, that's going to be an issue.
At that point, you might as well just have like a live contact, like through ATC. There's already something like that where the airspace truly is not closed until the very up. Like if the launch delays, they still don't give the go to clear the areas and things like that. And then I believe for launches, they are given the like they've said they sort of are allowed to come back within like 10 minutes of the launch happening. Once the launch happens, like instead of being for hours at a time, it used to be that you had to be clear for the entirety of the TFR time, because there's usually like a time in those notices. And of course, if you launch at the beginning of the window, nowadays it means you're given the go ahead by ATC. But that's basically one of the things as well that you can basically just deal with nowadays with the better technology and the better communications and things like that. And so I think that's just how it's going to evolve eventually. Like the pilots will be able to know real time where these launches are going and whether they have to divert or things like that. And maybe it's just a 5-minute to 10-minute disruption every couple of hours or something like that. It also depends in which direction the launches happen. Maybe one is launching to the east, another one happens to launch to the south, another one happens to launch to the north. And so depending on the direction, maybe in a certain direction you're not going to see any disruptions for hours at a time, if any. Like maybe it's once every day or something like that, right? In other directions you may not see any at all. Like, would you launch west out of Starbase? Probably not, right? It's not like rockets in general tend to launch west unless you really want to launch into really retrograde orbits. So that's another way as well that you can look at it. That it'll depend on the timing, on the direction, etc., and having much more up to date and much more real time notices and information to the pilots will probably help optimize all of this. They probably will not be happy at the beginning, to be fair, because until this takes on, until this whole thing is actually implemented, it's going to take a while. But just like the current ATC system, man, I mean, can you imagine back in the day saying that there are millions of planes and flights every single day? It probably will have sounded like it's magic. It's impossible that will be happening. And yet it's happening.
Yeah, next you're going to tell me they have talking pictures as well. Crazy. But yeah. YouTube doing its thing. I think YouTube glitched out there once it saw Patrick Bob gifting another 50 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much, Patrick, for doing that. As always, we love seeing your name here, and a huge thank you. If you got one of those gifted memberships, definitely give Patrick a thank you over to you. And yeah, if you got the membership, once we get to launch day, which as of right now, 22 hours, 55-ish minutes, yeah, then you will have access to the members multi-view, where you'll get to see all of the dozen-plus cameras that we have. I think it's over 20 cameras at least that we have out there for these launch days, and the behind-the-scenes stream, where you get to see how all of the magic is made, the people pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, and all of that. It's really cool, and that's at any level of membership, so thank you. And John Robb also taking advantage of that, becoming a PadRat member. 28 cameras, so I'm being told in chat by NASA Spaceflight official. Telstar also saying the claw. And then Bradley coming in, getting the patch, saying thanks for the Starship coverage. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. We love doing this, in case you can't tell. Also, we love seeing full stacks, which we are so close to at this point. Come on, SpaceX, do the thing. And I know it looks like it's moving the wrong way. We're joking about it, because I understand that it's not just aligning up and down and left and right. It's also rotational. All of that has to be taken into play, and sometimes it has to look like it's moving away while it's rotating to then be put back over. Fancy stuff, you know. Anand was wondering, do they install the FTS at the bays and roll the ship and booster with them? So this ship that is being stacked right now, Ryan, has the FTS installed.
I hope so. I hope it's got FTS installed at this point. Yeah, they do the FTS install on both ship and booster inside the bays these days. That's when those are get done. These two vehicles have had FTS for over a week at this point, since they originally rolled out 8 days ago at this rate, and then had to roll back in and then roll back out again. So it's got FTS. These are ready for flight. They just, it looks like ship is somewhat lined up. They just got to lower it down, and they definitely did not beat the fastest time. That is definitely passed at this point. What is it? The second fastest, I think, was like 46 minutes, something like that, give or take. So it still has a chance to beat that. It has the chance to become the second fastest stack ever. So let's see if it does that.
That's what we're all waiting for with bated breath here. And again, it's you take the time to do something, do it right. So it's not always about speed. And SpaceX has gotten a lot lately, it seems like, Alex, with, you know what, we'll just stack it less than 24 hours before launch. It's fine. And actually, most of the time, they are fine.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to me, because it's like if they were really not ready to stack, then they wouldn't stack, right? Like the T0 abort that we saw last week, I don't think it had anything to do with them trying to stack within 24 hours, right? So if they're ready, they're ready. And so just put both vehicles together, go for it, and see what happens.
I see people talking about it in chat and asking the questions of, why not just automate it? Why is it people that are doing this by hand? Why not have some automated system where, GPS lines it up in the spot, it locks into place, and it just, like a robotic assembly line, stacks it?
Well, there's two things to say to this. The first one is, how do you know it's not automated? And the reason why I say this is there's a bunch of these motions that can be fully automated, probably have been automated for a while. In fact, like maybe even from the first lift, we don't know. Like just the up motion that we saw before, that's so simple, that's so easy in terms of just automation that you could just basically just say, yeah, up. And there's like a command that just is sent and it does that automatically. Then another one that is swing, and then the ship swings. All of that can be automated. The problem is having to align it. Sometimes you need to learn first with your own eyes what is the proper alignment before you then train a system that maybe through cameras, lasers, or whatever, then can do it automatically. And you can think of any other, I don't know, companies out there that are maybe somewhat related to SpaceX that do that kind of thing, right? And so you have to first do the thing and train the algorithms before doing it all automated. As I said, the lift and the swing are just so simple movements that I'm gonna bet, probably not money, but I say it's
Pun tokens
or whatever you want to use, but I'd say those are probably all automated, where it's just like maybe there's like a wait for command sort of moment where it's like it gets lifted a little bit and then it's like, I'm waiting for your command, and then somebody on the ground is like, yep, you're good now. But those are checkpoints more than not automated. It's automated. The rest of the thing happens without any human input, is what I'm trying to say. We've seen this with Crew Dragon as well. Remember that thing that flies humans into space, into the International Space Station? We see the astronauts multiple times confirming operations because the automated systems are like, yep, I've done this step now. Do you want me to continue? And you're like, yep, continue. We're good. And so it's like, that's the sort of thing that sometimes some automated systems will do as well. And that's always good because you have at least a person that can keep an eye and make sure that things don't go over, and do something bad with your hardware, or to people in the case of Crew Dragon. So I don't know. I think it's going to take a while.
This last bit here, though, feels like this is not automated. This is someone doing it. Because even, again, like Crew Dragon, though, once it gets to the station, sure, it slows down before docking, but it's not like the crew then has to manually dock the final 10 meters or whatever.
And that takes a lot of sensors, a lot of measurements that have been taken well in advance in order to be able to train the automated systems on Crew Dragon. You don't do that. I mean, remember when the Dragon Eye system flew on shuttle? Huh?
I sure do.
So those sorts of things are needed ahead of time. In the case of SpaceX, they had a lot of training already with the Dragon systems on Dragon 1, even though that was basically just capturing with a robotic arm. It was berthing, but it still needed the Dragon Eye systems in order to be able to approach the station, know its range and its approach rate and things like that. You need that sort of thing ahead of time in order to be able to advance your systems to get the basically till the end, basically. And Starship is going to be using Dragon Eye systems in the future for docking to other ships, because the docking systems will use that as well. So it's going to be nice.
Oh yeah, that was one of the early experiments for the Cargo and Crew Dragon to see how that automatic docking alignment would work with the IDA, the International Docking Adapter that was already up there. And yeah, they ended up later using that because the original Dragon spacecraft, I'm trying to remember, were the OG Dragons V1s? Those were grappled for cargo, right?
Yeah, the Dragon one was basically there was a grapple fixture that will be released. It was sort of like a stowed thing. There will be a door that will open and release the grapple fixture, and it will just get close to the station. And I think it was under 20 meters under the station, and then the robotic arm will just grab the Dragon and berth it to the Harmony module. In the case of Dragon 2, of course, both cargo and crew, it just docks. But it's not really such a huge step function, if you will, between one and the other. But you still need all of the software being trained and things like that. Sometimes the automated systems may fail, and so you also need the backup systems. We see that as well with Progress, even though it uses a whole different method. It's radar guidance, basically, instead of the lasers and retroreflectors that there are on the US side of things. But still, again, you need software that can basically, sometimes, for example, there's the multiple waypoints to the station. Sometimes they've been told to hold on the approach because the light was wrong, because of how the light was hitting on the station, and so that sort of messed up with the Dragon Eye systems. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of gotten it down to a science and they've learned the best way to do it. But yes, even Progress still can be manually controlled from the station or from the ground. Same thing with Cargo Dragon. They can remotely send commands to it if they need to manually do stuff. And obviously for a Crew Dragon, you have a commander and a pilot who are both trained to be able to fly it if they need to. You know, the worst thing you need is a spacecraft getting super close to the International Space Station, starting to lose thrusters and lose control, and have to have the pilot take over and barely be able to save it and dock it to the International Space Station, and then get quote-unquote stuck or stranded, depending on how you ask it and say it, aboard the ISS for longer. Not that that's ever happened. Totally not Starliner. Anyway, are they starting to lower it now?
Very slowly.
It is going down, though.
I think they finally lined it up, so it's going down a little bit quicker now, which is good.
Yeah. That little swaying isn't a bad thing. That's just it settling as they move it, and looks like.
Yeah, you'll see the boot when they finally actually get set down to the booster. You'll see the booster wobble slightly, as all of a sudden it is now taking like, what with this payload, the booster will be taking nearly 200 tons of extra weight on top of it instantly, or not near instantly, but close to it. So the booster kind of does a little shake and move. So
Little shake and bake action here.
yeah, you could tell on the old pad when pad scrap when they sat the ship down, the booster would do a visible like twang because the tower and the mount were off, were not aligned correctly, thanks to not great foundation and Flight 1 nearly digging a hole to China. So
did
it
say-
did not help the launch pad that it did that, and kind of knocked that thing out of alignment for the rest of its life. And they had to do a lot of shenanigans in order to get it right. This, they actually, they built the pad right this time. Or they built it a lot better. So it works better.
Did someone say twang? My shuttle sensors are tingling. For those who don't know, just before launch, with the hold down boat still attached, when they fired up the space shuttle main engines, it would lean forward a little bit, and then it would come back upright, and that's when the solids would ignite, the hold down bolts would be blown, and the shuttle would launch. So it was called a twang. Also, I can try talking with a southern twang, but that doesn't work.
You gotta bring Lindsay for that.
There's a couple people here at NSF that could work on that.
I
They
think
could get the twang.
I think her
better.
twang is probably the best.
It really is. She definitely has the most southern twang accent. It's great. Although Das with the y'alls, you know.
Who knows?
Lincoln MT was asking, are there any electrical connections between the booster and the ship?
Nope. Only mechanical. Just the 3 clamps. That's it. That's all that holds and connects the two things together.
And then the command to release, how's that go?
Command to release is booster. So they communicate with each other, and it's also timed based off probably partially inertial navigation and other stuff like that, and multiple different points in the count and everything like that. That boost the ship engines engage, and then the clamps release on booster, and goes. So it's like timings, navigation, communication between them, stuff like that. But there's no direct electrical connection between the ship and the booster to tell each other anything.
But so they communicate with each other, but they're not connected, and they still manage to hot stage.
Yep.
Brain is not braining at the moment, but I'm sure it makes sense to people in chat. It's not Bluetooth, is it?
I don't know. My brain is kind of fried at the moment too. So
Bluetooth.
Yeah, I can just imagine connection lost. Really, having to
Super
put Starship
heavy,
into
connecting
discovery
to
mode.
Starship.
so connection lost. Ship fires its engines, but doesn't. But Super Heavy doesn't disconnect.
That, or someone's on an airplane close by and they didn't turn Bluetooth off, and all of a sudden they start blasting their music through Starship.
Subspace communication.
That would actually kind of be epic. But that's good to know. I'm waiting for it to drop down because the moment I do what I'm about to do, it's going to come all the way down, which is fine because this person deserves recognition anyway. Patrick Bob coming in. Always great to see you, Patrick. I know we've been saying that. Coming in with a $500 tip at tips.nasaspaceflight.com. An even more direct way to help support us here, saying for trailer cam repair / replacement / upgrade / reinforcement, plus to drive Chris Bergen absolutely bonkies.
Holy jumping.
Driving us bonkies too. Not just Chris. I'm supposed to say words. How can I say words with that?
You got no words anymore.
Just holy jumping. That's my words.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's the only words I could say. This is genuinely just... No, Patrick! Not again! Another $500
What?
tip.
What?
What?
For development of a DOS cooling system for launch days in Texas. I'm sorry, what?
What? Huh?
That's for a sprinkler system on the tent. You know how they do that? They do that a lot here in Spain. I don't know if they do that in America, but like in some bars, they put it like a tent to cover from the sun, and then they spray you with water. That's what we need for DAS.
Like a misting spray?
It will be, It will be the DAS suppression system.
I'm about to
It's a
say we
DSS.
need the DOS DSS or the DSS.
The DOS SS, yes.
Exactly.
Patrick says, Alex, exactly. Also said to come up with our own version of Bonkies. All I have is just speechless.
Own version of
My own version of
Bonkies is Holy Jumpin'. I got that from Darren Pang. Color analyst for hockey. Used to do the color analyst for the St. Louis Blues. Does it for the Blackhawks now and does it for like TNT and other stuff. That's where I get that. Every time something insane happened in the game, he would always go, "Holy jumpin'." It's a good one.
I mean, at that point, if we're talking the Blues, I could just start singing Gloria. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, EJ's not here. That's right. Yeah. I will
Yes, I do
still
get that
always
reference.
forever remember the picture of Brad Marchand crying. Yep, we won, and it's awesome. So, yeah.
I'm happy to see a Boston team upset. It's fine. We are still in about the same spot we were. It looks like it's a full stack, but it is not yet
Slight
a
gap.
full stack. Yes. Mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
Be great on the London Tube.
Mind the gap between the hot stage and
Wait,
ring.
wait. Are
and
we
the
are we
aft.
talking the MW3 level? What? Mind the gap? No.
I was just talking the actual London Underground. But...
okay.
Or any underground for that matter. Hi, Spain over here. We have those.
They don't say that in the subway in New York. It doesn't say mind the gap. It's watch your step.
Really? It says watch your step?
Yeah.
That's lame.
Here you would think that they say it in Spanish because it's Spain, but they actually also say it in English, and they say "man the gap" because there's a lot of tourists.
Well, yeah, but no, it's we
Did it
don't
go back
say
up?
Mind.
Or no,
Oh,
they're
no.
adjusting it slightly. Okay.
Yeah, we don't say mind anything in New York except mind your own business.
I'm walking here.
Jesus.
That is New York.
little bit of
That's
rotating.
quintessential New York.
Yeah, but no one talks like that, dude. Come on, we don't actually say I'm walking here.
No?
No one ever says that. We just say move. That's what I used to do.
Probably interlaced with other words we can't repeat on here, but
No, I would just go watch it or move.
Move your aft.
Yeah. Move your aft flap out of the way.
Move your aft flap out of the way.
Oh, man. Yeah, there was one time when I interned, and where I was interning was in Times Square. So here's all the tourists and then me trying to get to work, and it's like, come on. God, my New York accent is coming back out. Jeez. Anyway, says the guy from Florida, hey, Storm, I'm originally from New Jersey, just outside New York City. So
I'm so sorry for you.
From Jersey.
Jersey, not Jersey, it's Jersey.
Mm.
Can you tell we're delusional waiting for this to actually drop onto be placed onto the booster?
Not drop. No, let's not drop this,
let's
please.
Not drop it. Let's lower it down safely onto the booster.
Exactly.
So we can celebrate and have a full stack.
Yeah, Storm.
Instead of drop it like it's hot, more like lower it like it's lukewarm.
Yeah. Lower it like it's lukewarm. Lower it like it's lukewarm. But yeah. Yeah, I've only been a Floridian for 10 years. The rest of that was in Bergen County, New Jersey. So, while we're waiting for this, since we have a full stack, people getting for the first time totally, not from the stack a week and a week ago or a week and a half ago.
What do you mean? There wasn't anything.
Getting a hoodie And one of the solar shirts. Oh, the nice lightweight ones. Oh, I needed one yesterday when I was out there for the Falcon 9 launch. It was so hot. And I was wearing a cotton shirt, not the lightweight ones. Lindsay, when's it coming? Saying great products, great coverage. Thanks for all you do. Mikhail getting the collector's pin, of which there's less than 30% left, and the etched whiskey glass, which I know people over in Europe are saying, I don't see it. Where is it? That's because right now the shipping overseas would be bonkies, or whatever term Ryan used. Not great. So we're working on trying to figure that out, because right now it is literally someone with the etching machine. The order comes in, they get it etched and ship it out here with our team. It's NSF made. We're not sending this out to someone else to go etch it and then we take it from there. No, I believe it's Dan's daughter is the one that is actually putting it in the machine while it etches and then sending it out. So working on it though for overseas. Mannerkel becoming a Pad Rat member. Thank you very much for that. And then Kobe coming in saying, I think SpaceX should buy the ISS on a government sale offer, or a government sale, offer them $1 billion.
Just $1 billion? You know how much it costs to build that thing?
I'm also just going to say this. Who wants the old piece of junk to still be operating?
It is an old piece of junk.
It would be great to bring it back down in parts to display, which, I mean, Starship, come on, be able to do that. Bring down Hubble when it's done. I think that would be cool if they did it that way, but who wants to keep operating it? It's been up there for over 20 years. It's technology going back to the 80s. I believe some of it even to the 70s. It probably smells.
20 years? Both parts of that thing are 30.
That's what I was just saying.
You said 20.
In orbit for 20 years,
Well,
and
yeah.
some of the parts go back to the 80s. I think some even late 70s. And it smells. There's a lot of old gross germs and stuff that have formed from all those years. Because you don't get to air it out. So, yeah. Also, for the person asking from the Jersey person, unfortunately, I'm a Jets fan. I was born into it. I didn't have a choice. I know. Way back when we told... when Chris Bergen was picking a team to root for in the NFL, someone told him to root for the Jets, and whoever they are, I'm sorry, Chris.
You basically consigned him to eternal disappointment.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my dad was a season ticket holder for 40 years. I joined him for 10 of those as the season ticket holder when I was in New Jersey going to the games. And that kind of doomed me to a life of misery.
Oh, it's getting there.
Sports.
It's getting closer.
Is it finally lowering?
Yep. Gap's getting smaller. Come on, SpaceX. Come on, SpaceX. Come on, SpaceX.
Please,
lower this,
I'm running
lower
out of
the
things
ship.
to talk about. It's starting to lower. Yes, I'm proud to see all the other fellow Jets fans here. JET.
Well, at least somebody had to win at the stadium, right?
Hey,
Yes,
do they?
Spain, as of right now, has more playoff wins at MetLife Stadium than the Jets.
hey, I was a Rams fan when I lived in St. Louis. Think of how I feel about like Stan Kroenke. So yeah.
Oh, final adjustment. It's going down. Come on. Looks like there's still a
It's
tiny
so
little gap.
close.
It's almost there.
We're almost
You
at
are
an
so
hour
close,
of stack
SpaceX.
time, by the way. Like
Yeah.
three more minutes, and we hit 1 hour of stack time. So
We've been live for about 3 hours. I think I called this before we were live. I was saying, oh, if they do it like last time, we're gonna be live maybe 3 hours.
Alex, me, you, and Jay have been live combined today for 6.5 hours.
I know. Isn't it nice?
That sounds like a you problem.
And then tomorrow I'm on the stakeout stream for 3 hours, and then another maybe another 6 hours on the launch stream, because it's gonna be 3 hours before launch. We go live for the launch stream, and then another hour for launch. Maybe we have the flight.
So
And
Alex,
then
you're going
hopefully
to be
another
doing
2 hours
like
of our jaw having to be picked up from the ground.
you're
Yeah.
going to be doing like what? 12 to 14, maybe 14 hours of streaming in the span of 2 days plus, give or take.
Yeah, maybe.
You got 6.5 under your belt today so far. So
yeah,
actually
We'll
almost
see.
7 right now. We're getting close to 7 hours at this point.
We'll see what happens. This time, I
Hopefully they
hope
just
the
put it
green
down
screen
so
is
we can-
fixed for those graphics.
Hopefully they just put it down so that we can go back to finishing the things we need to prepare
Yeah.
for tomorrow. So yeah, Alex, my video may be a little bit longer still.
I know. Don't worry.
Blame
I still have the
SpaceX.
other 2 from Thomas. Hi, Thomas, if you're watching. Thomas Hayden, one of our editors.
I saw someone just asking, are the support bars for the hot staging ring made of the same stainless steel, or is it something stronger?
As far as I know, it's the same stainless steel. I don't know why it'd be anything different. They're just
Kind of-
designed to transfer the load down through the
Unobtainium.
booster. Vibranium, maybe. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, when you think about it, vibranium would not be great for a blast area for rocket engines because it reflects very well. Well, no, it's vibration absorbent, but what would it do to sound waves?
Maybe it's corbomite.
Well, why? I don't know. Corbomite would just explode. Well,
Yeah.
Corbomite would just Corbomite would reflect all of the energy back on. So if the forward dome was Corbomite and the ship fired its engines, the ship would just blow up and take the booster with it. That's what would happen if it was Corbomite.
As if luck will have it, I just got pinged for those 2 videos that Thomas is editing. So I have a review now after this stream ends. Gotta review
Both
2
of them?
videos. Yeah, both of them, apparently.
Show off. I mean, mine
Show off.
probably just...
You have an excuse, Sawyer. We're sitting here waiting for the ship to finish lowering down.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that corbomite is made up. I'm making the joke about the Star
Joke.
Trek episode. Yeah, the corbomite maneuver.
Corbomite
I know.
maneuver.
It's not technically a maneuver. It's just that he sort of
He made it up.
says,
It's a
"Oh, I
bluff.
have." Yeah, he made it up. We have corbomite. It's super explosive. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
Is it
I
down
watched
yet?
that episode like 3 weeks ago. Just saying.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? So close.
It's like
There's
there's
still
no
a
such thing as
visible
the
gap.
unknown. Only things temporarily hidden, temporarily not understood. It's a quote from that episode.
So we still have a gap showing here.
We're starting to collectively lose our minds here while we're waiting for this gap to close and the ship to go onto the booster.
It's a gap on the stack. Stack gap.
That gap is also the gap between our ears right now as our brain is melting out. While we wait, Anonymous getting one of the patches saying go Flight 13. And Telstar 86 with 50 pounds worth of support here, saying, in recognition of NSF and all the amazing and generous members that help keep the cameras rolling to give us these amazing views and continued coverage of all things Starbase. Thank you so much for that, Telstar.
It might be
Very
down.
much appreciate it.
I think it's
knew
down.
As soon
Might
as
be.
I started doing this, that would happen.
I think
There's a
it's
gap.
down. No, there isn't. Look.
It looks
If you
What do you
look
mean there
on the-
isn't?
Tiny, tiny
Look
gap.
on the other side. Look through the hot stage ring. Do you see a gap? A/B test it. A/B test it. I think it's down. Or near. Or I think
It's
down.
not.
The booster definitely has weight.
Doesn't mean it's down.
Well, what? If the booster has weight, the
It's still
ship is
moving.
sitting on it.
I'm just gonna
weight.
say I'm doing A/B testing like 5 seconds ago, and it's still moving, so it's not down. I'm gonna
Made me rush
challenge
through
you.
Telstar support. Telstar, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Ryan, apologize to Telstar.
What?
Apologize to Telstar. Made me speed through his message because it made it seem like it was down.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, we are all delirious. You are right, Observer.
Okay, maybe the backside is down, but I can tell you a part of it is definitely down. Because the booster wouldn't sway if it wasn't taking some of the weight.
Something like that. Also, Kobe asking if I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. No band-aids on my arm. All good. So now we continue to wait. It just looks like millimeters to go, maybe centimeters. Man, McTavish, I had my patience tested. I'm negative. Also, Telstar 86, by the way, there you go, Ryan. They say, I forgive you.
Copy. Thanks.
10-4. All right. under 22 hours and 22 minutes to go till the opening of the launch window, which, as we wait for this tiny little gap to disappear, a reminder, that is scheduled, as of right now, the window opens at 5:45 p.m. Central Time, and it is a 90-minute long window. Although, again, once they begin prop load on Starship, they only have about 15 minutes of holding time once fully fueled, approximately 15 minutes, give or take a little bit. The weather is, a watch item. If you want to know what the weather is, go back to about 30 minutes into the stream. We had Adam Shuker on going through all of the different weather concerns and the radars and everything. And a reminder that SpaceX's official post said that, quote, weather is currently a significant watch item for launch, close quote. But as of now, still proceeding towards tomorrow. And yeah, you can see still that tiny gap there. There is the official X post from there. Now starting preparations to launch Starship as soon as tomorrow, Thursday, July 23rd. And there is the quote about the weather. Also, that additional pre-flight testing. They did do a little bit of testing, which involved loading up all the locks and a tiny bit of methane and doing a small leak check, it seemed like, on that test. And that was earlier today. And there's the confirmation that all went well with it. I think that sums up about where we're at today.
Oh, that just shifted. I saw that. Yeah, it just shifted and sat down.
I think they're just settling the ship.
I think it just sat down. I just saw the whole thing shift.
I don't know. Before it was
I'm delirious here. Okay?
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like now it's about as down as they can get it.
I don't know. I feel like we need a bunch of 8x10 glossy photographs with circles and arrows with a paragraph on the back explaining each one to confirm that it's down. No idea if anyone's going to get that reference.
Well, I think that is at what?
Oh, what's your timer say if it were to go down now?
If it were to go down when I saw it adjust right there, that would be 7:25 p.m. So you're talking about an hour and 6 minutes for the stack. And that is also net 22 hours, 19 minutes or so.
Also, I am so proud of this chat who are all rocket nerds and know the Thanksgiving tradition of Alice's restaurant.
Oh, well, Thanksgiving. Hi. Not Thanksgiving thing.
I mean, it's
here.
It's not that it's just a Thanksgiving song. It can be played whenever, but there's many of the radio stations in the United States, every Thanksgiving at noon will play the song. It is, it takes place on Thanksgiving. and it's like a anti-war protest song, and it is like 17 minutes long, I think, 18 minutes long. So yeah. Yes, it's geezer stuff. Okay, I'm old. I get it.
I don't even think I was awake at 12 p.m. last Thanksgiving.
Oh man. Well, you can get anything you want at NSF's restaurant, I guess. Yeah, but we're still a bit delusional here. But yes, people are saying that you need to adopt Thanksgiving now in Spain.
Eh. There are all the things that we do that you guys don't, so let's leave it at that.
I like bowls and tomatoes, come on. Anyway. That looks like we're actually there now, maybe?
Looks like we're there. I think we're there. I think the lighting is just different compared to the last time. There's actually like sunlight around and stuff like that, so that's why.
Yeah, this, I think it's safe to say, is now down. We're calling it down. How about that?
I'm going to call it down. I'm calling it down at T-minus 22 hours, 19 minutes. That's what I'm going to call it.
And if you really want to be finicky and finagly about it, is it really all the way down and whatnot? Well, you can keep track of everything on our Starbase Live 24/7 stream. But I call that stack complete. And it's a great place to hang out until all of our main streams start tomorrow. Don't forget, we have our stakeout stream to begin with, and then we have our main launch broadcast. Make sure you go over to the channel and hit remind me, so that way you know when we go live, so that you can join us for all of those, because there's going to be a lot more fun conversations like this with all of your favorite NSF and NSF people and Twitch person, I guess, with EJ, if he's going to be there or not. I don't know. You'll have to tune in to find out to see who's going to be on it. But I want to thank the people that were on with me today. Alex, thank you for joining for this countdown to launch.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that the green screen and everything all works. The thing with the green screen is you can see certain, yeah, you see that shadow over there. Sometimes it's not super perfect. My setup, it's a very small room and everything, so it's not super perfect. Sometimes you'll see some artifacts like that. See there, so it's a bit like that sometimes. I'll probably have to buy more lights, probably to mitigate some of that. But that'll be for a future flight, not for Flight 13, because that's hopefully in like 22 hours and 15 minutes. There we go. There, that's the countdown clock. So keep an eye on that, and of course we'll be back tomorrow.
Archaeologists would love your green screen with all those artifacts. Thank you as well for joining Ryan Weber.
It's a pleasure as always, Sawyer. It's been a fun day. It's been a long day. A lot of stuff happened. Booster 20 did a test. Booster 21 rolled back to the bay, and Ship 40 rolled out and got stacked. So we'll see if SpaceX ends up going and launches tomorrow or whatever happens. So I'll talk to you all tomorrow on the stakeout stream.
The only way to know is to tune in. So hopefully you will do that. And a huge thank you as well to Jay Keegan for pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, and producing today's stream, along with all of our team out in the field and the robotic camera operators bringing all the views to you. I am Sawyer Rosenstein. I have been your host for this countdown to launch. We will all see you tomorrow for hopefully Starship Flight 13 actually taking off.
And here we go.
This is the final go no go poll for today's operations.
Full reusability of an engine like this is really something that people haven't done before.
We didn't know what we were doing because it was impossible to know what you were doing because no one had ever done something like this before.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
Back skew.
Separation.
One Raptor vacuum is off.
We lost a Raptor vacuum.
Ship FTS is saved.
Starship is turning for final approach to landing site.
And here we go.
This is the final go no go poll for today's operations.